What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty. Join my Discord if you want to chat and share your thoughts, the link is in the description. 8 Chains 206 Prime Minister Changlong Wenchar, wearing a mask, walked out of the dark alley. The residents saw him walking out as if nothing had happened, and their eyes widened in surprise. They guessed that the masked young man would come out crying. Why did he look so calm now? Did they see it wrong? I saw it right, that kid doesn't look like anything happened to him. Maybe these villains are not that annoying. Hey, is it because I didn't take the medicine that I had hallucinations?
Is there something wrong with this? This is impossible, my nephew had his legs broken by these villains. Unscathed, how is it possible? At this time, a middle-aged man guessed. I guess this kid took the initiative to hand over the money, so the villains let him go. That's why he looks like nothing happened. Just wait, the villains will walk out of the alley with a happy look. After this was said, all the residents nodded, thinking that this was right. In their opinion, this was the only possibility. So these residents put their minds back to work and ignored this matter. After that, no one came out of the alley for a long time, and these residents began to feel puzzled.
Where are those villains? 893, this is strange. This is unscientific. Shouldn't those villains run out with a happy face and blackmail more people?
Advertisement. The middle-aged man who first proposed that Char took the initiative to hand over the money to save his own safety could not sit still, and ran over with a gloomy face. He decided to run into the alley. He wanted to see what happened with his own eyes.
I saw 5 villains lying on the ground with smiles on their faces, but they had no signs of vitality.
No matter how the middle-aged man tested these villains, he still came to the shocking fact that these villains were dead, and the way they died was the same, their necks were crushed. What is going on here? The middle-aged man rubbed his forehead in pain, his face full of disbelief, and a hint of disbelief flashed in his eyes. Then the middle-aged man walked out of the alley with a very complicated mood and told everyone this shocking fact. Everyone was stunned. The ending was actually reversed.
Oh my god, this can't be true. They died. CFAE. I think those villains are quite strong.
Wow, my nephew with a broken leg is going to be happy, ha 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 ha. I really didn't expect this ending. These residents really couldn't believe it. Like the villains, they all thought that Char was just a pure rich kid who had just entered the world, who knew that this rich kid was actually a wolf in sheep's clothing. He could actually kill these villains who were already terrible in their eyes.
Advertisement. Although they let out a breath of anger, they felt it was incredible. The middle-aged man's eyes flashed with an imperceptible brilliance, and he left here quickly. A boss selling red wine looked at the figure of the middle-aged man, frowned and muttered. Who is this man? Forget it, don't think about it.
A middle-aged man came to the gate of the palace. After the soldiers who were guarding the gate seriously saw this slightly majestic middle-aged man, their faces became more respectful and said, "Hello, Prime Minister." This middle-aged man is the current Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Long Dragon. After the Prime Minister smiled and nodded at them, he walked quickly into the palace, as if he was in a hurry to find someone for something important.
After the Prime Minister left, the guards whispered.
The Prime Minister's face-changing technique is really amazing, I almost didn't recognize him.
Yes, if I didn't know that he had that special smell, I really couldn't recognize him. By the way, I heard that the Prime Minister went to the street to investigate things. I think this time the Prime Minister came back with information. Tisk. Why are you so concerned about the Prime Minister's whereabouts? Maybe the Prime Minister went to investigate who killed Bartholomew Home. The Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Long Dragon didn't know that these guards were talking about him, but even if he knew, he wouldn't care, because he now has more important things to report to the current king. Listening to the Prime Minister's report, the man sitting on the throne, wearing a golden crown, and exuding a noble aura, showed ecstasy on his face and smiled. Are you sure that the man wearing the mask killed Bartholomew Home? The Prime Minister showed a confident look, proudly puffed up his chest, and smiled. Your Majesty, you won't forget my proud skill. I can remember a person's body odor for a long time. Those dead villains in the dead Bartholomew Home all have another body odor that does not belong to them, which means that they are likely to die at the hands of the same person. I think your Majesty knows what I am talking about. After the King of the Long Dragon Kingdom got the confirmation, the smile on his face became more intense, and he said, "This is incredible, the hidden master who killed Bartholomew Home has really arrived early. My dear Minister, do you think I should quickly send people to find the hidden master now?" The Prime Minister shook his head, his eyes bursting with brilliance, like an old fox smiling slyly, and said, "Your Highness, don't you think you can kill someone with a borrowed knife?" The king's pupils dilated rapidly, his breathing was a little hurried, and he said in disbelief, "You mean?" The Prime Minister licked his lips, revealing a ferocious look that was completely different from his previous elegant look, and said in a low voice, "We can take the initiative to tell the remnants about the man who was suspected of killing Bartholomew Home, and let these remnants find trouble with that master." After listening to it, the king seemed to be a little hesitant. Maybe in his opinion, it would be as simple as finding the master who killed Bartholomew Home and asking him to help. The Prime Minister was anxious and said, "Your Majesty, this is a great opportunity. We can kill Bartholomew Home's remnants at one time, and our Changlong Kingdom will be peaceful from now on. And the master who killed Bartholomew Home may not help us to kill Bartholomew Home's remnants. The master who killed Bartholomew Home may have other reasons to kill the notorious pirate, so I have such a plan to let the master who killed Bartholomew Home and the remnants collide. The only ones who benefit are us, and no one knows that it is ours. 207 Golema Tavern. The king of the Long Dragon thought about it for a long time, and finally nodded silently, indicating that he agreed with the Prime Minister's plan. The Prime Minister was very happy to arrange the tasks. For the Prime Minister, he would use everything he could, because in his heart, as long as it was for the country, he was willing to sacrifice everything. However, the king of the Long Dragon felt a little uneasy, and his heart seemed to be occupied by a cloud of doubt. Bartholomew Home was such a powerful master, but he died at the hands of this mysterious master. In addition, the villains died at his hands. The villains and Bartholomew Home had nothing in common, so why were these two people killed? No matter how hard the king of the Long Dragon racked his brains, he could not figure out what Char's motive for killing was. Char, who did something that caused a sensation among the royal family, was still walking around bored, and he never knew what to do next. In this way, time passed unknowingly, and it was night in the blink of an eye.
Char decided to go find Hugo to see how he was doing in recruiting soldiers.
The next moment, in order to save time, Char decisively used the ability of sparkling fruit, turned himself into a ball of light and disappeared quickly, heading straight to the place where he and Hugo agreed to recruit soldiers. This is a bay in the country of Longlong, where there are the most pirates. Countless extremely evil pirates stay here. It is said that there are pirates with bounties worth hundreds of millions of Baileys staying here. Perhaps because there are too many pirates, the tavern business here is particularly good, so many taverns have been produced here, and the most successful tavern is the Garima Tavern.
Advertisement. A large number of pirates will choose the Garima Tavern to drink. One reason is that the service and the quality of the wine here are really top-notch, especially the wine is so strong that countless pirates come here for this strong wine.
Secondly, the boss behind the scenes of the Garima Tavern is the captain of a pirate group worth tens of millions of Baileys. Although most people don't know the name of this pirate behind the scenes, they have heard of the legend of this tavern boss behind the scenes. The boss behind the scenes of the Garima Tavern once killed a Marine Major and hung the head of the Marine Major in front of the tavern. It was at that moment that the Garima Tavern became completely famous. There is no pirate who makes a living in the seas around the Long Dragon country who does not know the Garima Tavern from then on. Every pirate stays away from the Garima Tavern. Even the pirates in the seas around the Fayan country next door know the name of the Garima Tavern, which shows how terrifying the reputation of the Garima Tavern is. So many people come to the Garima Tavern to see the boss behind the Garima Tavern and want to know who can kill Marine Major so powerfully. Therefore, many people entered the Golema Tavern, and the first question they asked was, "Is your boss here today?" Of course, no one could see the boss behind the scenes. Today is the only exception. Char's figure landed in front of the door of the Garima Tavern, which was the place he and Hugo had agreed on. When he came to the Kingdom of the Long Dragon, Hugo had already thought of the next plan and mentioned the special information he had investigated at the Garima Tavern. After Hugo learned about the special background of the Garima Tavern, he immediately determined that this was a good place to recruit troops and horses, and there was no other place more suitable than this. It was precisely because of Hugo's excellent talent in investigating intelligence that Char paid special attention to him and benefited him a lot. Advertisement. As soon as Char pushed open the Garima Tavern, he found that everyone was coming and going here, and there were many pirates exuding dangerous auras. Even a few pirates did not look like ordinary pirates. Char, with his vicious eyes, immediately saw that these people in front of him were Grandmaster Haki, and sighed that it was really fun. At this time, Hugo, wearing a hood, smiled at him at a certain table. Zhangya immediately responded and walked over. "What's going on?" Char asked the first question, and it was obvious that he attached great importance to recruiting soldiers. Hugo seemed to know that Char would ask this first question, and said with a wry smile in a voice that only the two of them could hear, "Things are not so smooth. Do you still remember the special things I told you about this Garima Tavern?" Char nodded and said, "Remember, the behind-the-scenes boss of this Garima Tavern once killed a Marine Major." There was a hint of disdain in his tone. To him, Marine Major was just a small soldier, and even a strong Marine Vice Admiral was not his opponent. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Hugo took a sip of liquor, tasted it carefully, and whispered, "As far as I know, the boss behind this Garima Tavern may be a pirate worth hundreds of millions of berries, named Garima, a demon fruit power. 041412225 Falu 172,510,190. Char's eyes flashed with joy, and he kept tapping the table with his fingers, lowering his voice and saying, "Are you sure this is true? If it is a pirate worth hundreds of millions, and it is also a demon fruit power, such combat power is indeed good," so Char immediately became a little interested. Hugo took another gulp of liquor and muttered a few words, "It tastes really good." Then he spoke again, "And what shocked me even more is that this Garima is very likely to be alone. There is no pirate force behind him." Char looked at him with some surprise and said, "You mean, he doesn't belong to any pirate group?"
It's no wonder that Char was so surprised, because pirates worth hundreds of millions usually have powerful forces behind them, but he didn't expect that Garima actually had no power at all, which really surprised him.
However, in this case, isn't a lone ranger like Garima just the manpower they need for the Great Shah Pirates? The Great Shah Pirates want loyal and faithful people.
Garima, who has strong strength and is also a lone ranger, just meets the talent requirements needed by the Great Sha pirates.
Thinking of this, Char got a little excited and smiled. Tell me quickly, do you have any ideas to recruit this Garima? Hugo snorted, proudly puffed up his chest and smiled. Who do you think I am? I have already found out. Garima is in urgent need of money. He himself said that whoever gives him the most Bailey in this tavern tonight will let Garima do anything for him. How is it, isn't it interesting? Hugo seemed to know what Char was feeling at the moment, and continued to smile. Char smiled with interest, showing a bright smile, and said, yes, it is indeed interesting. 208 gathering together as time goes by, more and more captains come here who want Garima to join their pirate group. Each captain who comes here has a strong voice and power, which shows how popular this pirate named Garima is. The pirates on the side are not idle but laughing and talking about who will get Garima's loyalty. You think that captain will get Garima's loyalty? I guess it's Mike Newton. After all, this man killed a marine warship not long ago and got a fortune of extraordinary value. Oh, it's Mike Newton. Well, this person is really good. You can't be so sure. Didn't you see that Captain Dockman coming? My god, it's really Captain Dockman. It's really unexpected that even he was alarmed by 553. What kind of terrible power does this man named Garima have to make these famous captains gather here? The pirates all sighed at the same time. They had never seen such a spectacular sight.
So many notorious captains gathered together, and some of them were legendary powerful captains that they had only heard of but never seen. Just like the dreaded Captain Dockman, they were all admired by pirates.
In their hearts, they couldn't help but sigh that there was something about Garima that attracted these captains so much that so many captains stood up to compete for this Garima.
The captain named Mike Newton grinned fiercely and said confidently to his men next to him, today we will definitely take down Garima and make our Mike pirates even more powerful.
The men next to him nodded continuously, looking at their captain Mike Newton with such admiration. Captain is right, we will definitely take down Garima. Once I thought that Garima would be our crew member in the future, I suddenly felt relieved. Yes, with Garima who killed Major Marine single-handedly, I'm afraid we won't be scared anymore, and we won't be afraid of Marine's pursuit anymore. It seems that our Mike pirates are going to rise. This Garima, our DOK pirates will definitely take it. Advertisement, ha 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 ha, it seems that we are going to go back happily today. Yes, 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 from now on, we will no longer be afraid of being targeted by other pirates. The pirates whispered to each other and were very shocked by the arrival of William Huggins. They didn't expect that even this long-famous pirate boss would come to participate in this battle for the minister. The cold murderous intent that the man in red accidentally released made most of the pirates present couldn't help but be moved, and their hearts were shocked.
When Mike Newton saw William Huggins coming, veins popped up on his forehead, hatred flashed in his eyes, and he said in a low voice, I didn't expect this B*********** D to come here.
Is that the case? So scary. No way. 3.4. That's the kingdom of Phaeon. Or did William Huggins' strength really surprise him and he could successfully complete the goal under the eyes of so many Marines? With the appearance of the man in red, the atmosphere on the scene became more lively. So the death of the captain of the pirate group actually has little impact on them.
Dockman continued to drink strong liquor as if nothing had happened, and seemed to be not interested in William Huggins' arrival at all. These crew members of the Mike Pirates, like their captain Mike Newton, are absolutely confident in recruiting Garima, and believe that the wealth in their hands is enough to make Garima submit to them. It's a pity that the kingdom forces have always regarded him as a big threat, but they don't know that guy is just a puppet captain in the pirate group.
Say that William Huggins was bold and dared to attack the treasury protected by so many Marines?
What should they say? The Dockman, who is called the king of the dragon by many pirates, is sitting with his legs crossed, and he is also confident, if we can't take Garima today, we won't go back. Advertisement. At this time, a man in red walked into the tavern with a heavy sword, not caring about the surprised eyes around him, and sat on a chair as if nothing had happened. Not only this captain knew about the shocking movement that William Huggins had just caused, in fact, most of the captains present knew about it, because it was too shocking.
The pirate group that caused us trouble before, when Lord Garima joined us, that pirate group was doomed.
The crew members of the DOK pirates also expressed their confidence in obtaining Garima's loyalty, and they looked determined to win. The captain smiled bitterly and said, because I heard that William Huggins had just defeated a treasury in the kingdom of Phaeon not long ago and obtained a lot of gold of extraordinary value. No way, even he is here. With this high-end fighter, Garima, the overall combat power of our DOK pirates will surely be improved to a higher level. From now on, we will no longer be afraid of being targeted by other pirates.
I really didn't expect that the vice captain of the famous home pirates would come here. Shouldn't he bring his men to find trouble to kill his own captain?
A captain frowned and said, William Huggins is here, this is not easy to deal with. The pirates under the captain hurriedly asked curiously, why do you say that? Is there anything in this world that the boss can't do? But even so, William Huggins broke through the marine encirclement and attacked the treasury of Phaeon Kingdom.
Long live Lord Dockman, long live Garima. The men around him immediately laughed happily.
As soon as this was said, his men were shocked. It's no wonder these people were so surprised. After all, That was the Feiyan Kingdom, not the Longlong Kingdom, which was a poor existence without a big support. Since Feiyan Kingdom was close to the world government, the Marines had always focused on protecting Feiyan Kingdom.
His men were all angry when they saw William Huggins' familiar and disgusting face.
Hee, don't you know yet? In fact, the real captain of the home pirates is William Huggins, who is nominally the vice captain but actually the captain.
Although he is the captain in name, he is actually a captain who takes the blame. I heard that he has no say in his own pirate group. He usually just takes a few men to fool around. 209 Gareth. Even Hugo and Char had heard about this. Hugo cast his eyes on William Huggins in the distance, and said in a low voice. This person is the William Huggins I told you about before, how do you feel? Char smiled faintly and said, not bad. Hugo smiled bitterly a few times, he was really asking for trouble, knowing that his leader had a high vision, he still asked him how good William Huggins was. His great leader defeated the two Marine Admirals Kizaru and Akainu without any help, which shows how amazing their leader is. If you compare his leader with the captains in front of him, the difference is obvious. At this time, everyone didn't know that there was a pair of sharp eyes looking at them carefully.
This person was Germa. Germa frowned, seeming a little dissatisfied. A man next to him saw Germa like this, and smiled and said, what's wrong, is there no one you are interested in here? No, Germa said in a decisive tone. The man smiled and said, are you too picky? Germa shook his head and said, they are all too weak. That William Huggins does have some strength, but he is not my opponent at all.
The man's facial muscles twitched, as if he was frightened by Garema's words, and continued to smile helplessly. Brother, that's William Huggins, and that William Huggins just came from the Feiyan country, which is taken care of by the Marine. You actually said he is not strong. He is indeed not strong, don't say it, Garema said in a deep voice. The man who knew Garema's temper changed the subject and said, even so, are you willing to join one of the captains tonight? Garema's eyes flashed with brilliance. After a long moment of silence, he said in a low voice, no. It is nothing more than Garema's terrifying strength. After all, he killed a Marine major on a Marine warship alone. You have to know that he is a Marine major, not an ordinary Marine soldier.
Besides, Germa killed the Marine alone in front of many Marine soldiers.
After leaving the Marine major, he was able to leave there as if nothing had happened. Do you think this Garema is strong enough to attract the attention of these captains? 100 million. The person who asked was Mike Newton. Advertisement, I don't want trash, no matter how rich you are. Garema's first sentence was like this, and the captains were not surprised. After all, it is normal for a master like Garema to have a higher vision. William Huggins had no expression on his face and did not react at all. His serious face did not seem to be affected by Garema's words. This price caused an uproar among the crowd. Well, no matter what, it seems that the battle tonight is really fierce. Dockman's expression was a little cold, and a hint of coldness flashed in his eyes. After saying these words, Char quickly turned his eyes away from Garema and continued to talk with Hugo, seemingly not caring about Garema's interested eyes at all. Mike Newton snorted coldly and crossed his arms silently. 100 million Baileys? More and more captains are coming. I thought it was over, it's just endless. Garema seemed to know the man's expression and said with a smile, in fact, no matter who offers the highest price tonight, as long as I don't recognize their strength, I will definitely not join any of them. The man heard this and said with a smile, why do you have to do this? In fact, each of them is a well-known and powerful captain in the current sea area. Garema's mouth corners slightly raised, and his eyes wandered. I will never join a useless captain, no matter how famous he is. There was a hint of tyranny in his tone. At this moment, a sharp gaze penetrated Garema's body. Garema was stunned and didn't expect that his existence was discovered by others, so he turned his surprised eyes to the owner of the sharp gaze, Sha Ya. Sha Ya was holding up a glass, smiling at him, and quickly mouthing a few words. Garema. Just a name. Garema's mind was shaken in vain. His face was more excited, a smile flashed in his eyes, and he said in a low voice, I want to take back what I said before, there are still more interesting captains here. The man uttered, not understanding what Garema was talking about. However, what he didn't expect was that the next person to ask for the price would raise it a lot. Not long after, the protagonist Garema appeared. Before he finished speaking, a captain had already interrupted him rudely and stood up impatiently. Oh, that's hard. What on earth is there about this Garema that can attract so many captains? I am really getting more and more curious. Yeah, I'm curious too. Advertisement Garema licked his lips, his expression was a little ferocious. A trace of Haki appeared on his body. A few seconds later, a man with a smile on his face, Li Wangzhao, came out and said to everyone with a smile. The auction will start now, ahem. No, it's Mr. Garema's. The captain had a confident look on his face, thinking that this price had overwhelmed most people. But I'm really curious about who can get Garema's loyalty tonight. The pirates who came to watch this magnificent scene couldn't help but swallow their saliva nervously, everyone was a little dumbfounded. Although they were mentally prepared, they were still a little surprised when they actually arrived. Hugo nodded, indicating that it was normal. If they get this man Garema, the pirate group will definitely become stronger. 10 million Baileys. As time passed, countless powerful captains poured into this tavern. In the dark night, the number of people did not decrease, but increased, and the atmosphere on the scene became more and more intense. This is almost equal to the value of Garima himself, right? However, the captains looked accustomed to it, as if they had expected such a thing to happen. At this time, every pirate was asking in his heart, is Garima's strength really that terrifying? Shaw took a sip of strong liquor and did not say much. His first sentence shocked the whole audience. The man was stunned. Basically, every pirate present expressed their curiosity about who Garima will join in the end. The captain who said 10 million left here in embarrassment, he suddenly felt ashamed to face people. 210 auction competition, 200 million Baileys. Dockman, one of the strong competitors in this game, said coldly. Although his voice was not loud, it made everyone tremble slightly. 200 million Baileys. This is several times the value of Garima himself. So scary. These pirates realized that they had underestimated the value of this game, and completely underestimated the desire of all the captains present in Garima, the great master. At this moment, these pirates felt that they really underestimated this game. The counter game was really not as simple as they imagined. Mike Newton saw that it was one of his enemies who offered such a high price, and he couldn't help but get furious. He could only take out hundreds of millions of Baileys at most, and he was not as fierce as Dockman who could take out 200 million Baileys in one breath. So Mike Newton thought that it was Dockman who ruined his plan. If it weren't for Dockman, he would have definitely taken down Garima. Then Mike Newton's face turned red, and he angrily said to Dockman, Dockman, you be ****************. Facing Mike Newton's insults, Dockman still looked like an old Zen monk, and it seemed that he would not be disturbed by Mike Newton's words at all. 210 million Baileys. Another voice sounded, and a captain who also had a very high reputation and terrible power shouted. 350 million Baileys, 953, 360 million Baileys. 390 million Baileys. Dockman said in a cold tone. This was the highest price he could bear, and he might not be able to bear it if it was higher. In the end, the price soared to 400 million in an instant, and the pirates were dumbfounded. This price is definitely not for buying a devil fruit that is extremely useful? So you are not the captain, but just an ordinary crew member. Advertisement. The pirates kept talking and expressing their feelings about the exaggerated figure of 400 million Baileys. Now it seems that it is mostly true. This William Huggins is really likely to have taken over a treasury in Feian Kingdom under the siege of Marine, otherwise he would not have seen so much profit. One Garamon costs 400 million Baileys. Although devil fruit is in short supply, it is enough to prove how huge the number of 400 million Baileys is. I'm afraid that even slave trades in Saboti Islands have this price. As soon as the voice fell, a loud voice sounded. As soon as the price came out, all the pirates were shocked, and gasps were heard everywhere in the venue. It's impossible for anyone to catch up with the price of 500 million Baileys. 500 million berries are enough to build many ships and recruit many excellent crews, but now this huge amount of money can be used to buy one person's loyalty. It's really terrible. I'm afraid that the price of the Tianlong people bidding for slaves is not so high. 400 million Baileys, is there a higher one? Oh my god, did I hear wrong? 500 million berries. Look at the popularity of the scene, it may be more than 400 million Baileys. Captain Mike Newton was also a little confused. He didn't expect the price to rise to such a jaw-dropping level. He really didn't expect it. I have never seen 400 million Baileys in my life. Tisk tisk tisk, I am just talking. The other captains were a little confused. Advertisement. It seems that William Huggins won this time. 500 million Baileys. William Huggins sneered and shouted out the price confidently. This time, the powerful General Garima has joined William Huggins, which is simply a tiger with wings. William Huggins is already very powerful, and now there is Garima. It is really a group of perverts. At this time, Hugo suddenly stood up and shouted a number that excited the whole audience. 600 million Baileys. The whole audience was shocked, and everyone was shocked. William Huggins couldn't help but be moved, and his calm face disappeared without a trace, replaced by an unprecedented solemnity. Captain Mike Newton couldn't help but take a deep breath, his face full of disbelief. Dockman was so shocked that he sat on the chair. The other captains were even more shocked. Hey, I haven't heard of it. 600 million Baileys. This can't be a fake price increase. The person who said 600 million, why do I feel like I have never seen this person before? It can't be fake. The other pirates were also confused, and everyone's eyes were filled with shock and disbelief. My god, the price has risen to 600 million Baileys. How much is this Garima loved by the captains? This is too scary. Oh my god, this can't be true. 400 million Baileys in a flash.
At the same time, the face of the dockman turned livid. He thought his price was enough to win the Garima, but he didn't expect a Cheng Yaojin to show up halfway, and this Cheng Yaojin was extremely brave and came up with an unexpected and terrifying price. This is 500 million Baileys. What an outrageous Bailey. You have to know that these 400 million Baileys are the savings he has saved for many years.
500 million Baileys, my god, this William Huggins is too fierce.
I really didn't expect William Huggins to have so much money. Is it true that William Huggins robbed a treasury in Feian Kingdom not long ago? It's terrible. What kind of unscrupulous things did this William Huggins do to have so many Baileys?
And the man next to him who helped him make the decision was shouting seriously. So many berries are paid for a Garima. If I had this much berries, I'd pay so much. It's really scary. If I had so many Baileys, I would definitely buy devil fruits. Fruit came to increase his strength. My little heart, my little heart, my little heart all. You should think that William Huggins is really amazing. This is equivalent to buying 4 devil fruits. As the protagonist of all this, Garima said nothing, but just sat quietly by the side. You know, it costs 100 million Baileys to buy a devil fruit in the market, but it has doubled to 400 million. How can the pirates not be shocked? 211 Captain William Huggins's face darkened. He was very angry. How could he bear it if an unknown person ruined his great William Huggins's plan? Therefore, a flash of anger flashed in William Huggins' eyes, and he angrily said to Hugo, "Who are you? Why have I never seen you before?" After this, many pirates cast doubtful eyes on Hugo. Do you know this person? No, maybe the 600 million Baileys are fake. It feels like things are not that simple. Ha ha ha, there's a good show to watch. It looks like a farce. Among them, the pirates under William Huggins were even more excited, as if they had found their backbone, and they shouted wildly, questioning the authenticity of Hugo's 600 million Baileys. You be asterisk 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 D. You have no money but you still pretend to be rich? And you are arguing with our boss, are you going to die? You are looking for death, aww. If you don't give me an explanation today, don't even think about leaving this door. When Hugo's forehead was bulging with veins and his fruit power was about to burst out, Char held his body and said in a low voice, "Let me do it." Hugo sighed and nodded silently. Char stood up, and his sharp eyes under the mask swept over everyone. The pirates who were penetrated by this sharp gaze always felt as if they were being stared at by a ferocious sea kings and felt creepy. Especially the terrible aura that Char accidentally revealed made everyone present tremble in their hearts. After Char snorted coldly, he cast his eyes on William Huggins not far away and said calmly, "You are that William Huggins?" Advertisement William Huggins raised his eyebrows and said in a deep voice, "Yes, it's me. Who are you?" Char's mouth corners slightly raised, and said in a low voice, "You don't need to know this, you just need to know that I killed your captain." As soon as these words came out, the atmosphere around changed. Everyone was frightened by Char's words. After the pirates felt this abnormal atmosphere, they became more nervous. Oh my god, are we going to fight? Who is this man? He dared to provoke William Huggins. You know, William Huggins is not a simple person. He did something earth-shattering not long ago. What is the origin of this man in front of him? He dared to provoke the famous William Huggins in front of him? This is fatal. It seems that there will be a good show to watch, ha 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 ha. I knew this game wouldn't end so easily. As both Dockman and Mike Newton, they certainly understood what Char meant by this. This is a naked declaration of war, a declaration of war. William Huggins's eyes turned cold, a strong murderous intent flashed in his eyes, and he gritted his teeth and said, "You said you killed my captain. I hope you are not lying. With a guy like you who dare not show his mask to others, how can you kill my captain?" Char snorted disdainfully and said, "If I can defeat your captain, I can also defeat you." What are you yelling about? William Huggins could no longer contain the growing killing intent in his heart. He revealed Armament Haki in his broadsword and suddenly swung a powerful slash at Char. With the appearance of this semi-arc slash, it seemed that even the surrounding air was suppressed. Char stood there without dodging, allowing the sword energy to attack. Everyone thought that Char's body would be torn into pieces by the sword energy in the next moment, and blood would splatter everywhere. However, such a scene did not appear. The next moment, something unexpected happened. The sword energy penetrated Char's body and hit the wall directly, forcibly cutting a large crack in the wall, but what everyone couldn't figure out was, why was this Char not hurt at all? Didn't the sword energy penetrate his body? Hey, this can't be true? I'm not having any illusions. Oh my god, I saw Char being pierced by the sword with my own eyes. How come this man is not hurt at all? This is unscientific. It's really unbelievable that someone can dodge William Huggins's attack. If I had to bear this attack, I would definitely be defeated by this sword. Advertisement, it's really terrible, really terrible. Is this Char some kind of demon fruit power? So he is not attacked by William Huggins? The pirates exclaimed, and everyone's face was filled with disbelief. While being dumbfounded by the powerful strength displayed by William Huggins, they couldn't help but ask why this masked man in front of them didn't seem to be hurt at all. Captains Dockman and Mike Newton were so shocked that they couldn't find other words to describe their current mood. The other captains were also shocked. A strange look flashed in Garema's eyes, and he held his chin with interest, as if he was interested in something. William Huggins frowned even more. He could feel that his sword energy should have landed accurately on Char. But why was Char not injured at all? Char saw everyone's expressions, snorted disdainfully, and said in a cold tone, "With your scumbag sword energy, can you still hit me?" What everyone didn't know was that this man was not an unknown person, he was the notorious Char. Just a moment ago, Char used the power of sparkling fruit to make William Huggins' sword energy useless. William Huggins immediately clenched his long sword, with a strong fighting spirit in his eyes. he realized that the masked man in front of him was not a simple person. In this case, don't blame me. William Huggins shouted angrily and swung the strongest slash. The power of this slash was completely different from the power of the slash just now, and it was also entangled with Haki of the Logia fruit that could directly attack. The next moment, a hint of coldness flashed across Char's eyes, and he finally made his move. This slash was wrapped around Haki, which meant that he could not use the sparkling fruit ability to dodge this attack. Char wrapped the nearly invincible armament Haki around his right fist, and then smashed it forward with all his might. That extremely powerful slash was dispersed in midair by Char's terrifying blow. Man. 212 escape. This change immediately caused a wave of uproar, and everyone's eyes were filled with disbelief. How is this possible? This terrifying slash was actually broken. Oh my god, is this still a human? The man wearing a mask is definitely not a simple person, he actually has such a strong power. It seems that the possibility that the other party has 600 million Baileys is relatively large. The captains immediately felt how terrifying the masked man in front of them was. Most of them had fought with William Huggins personally, and they knew very well how terrifying William Huggins's full-strength attack was. If they were to withstand this attack, it would definitely not work. Dockman swallowed a breath nervously and said, "Who is this masked man?" Dockman's 753 words expressed the captain's thoughts. Who is this masked man with powerful strength? Why is he so powerful?
They have never heard of such a terrifying man. After William Huggins saw that his slash was blocked again, he almost collapsed, and suddenly felt that something in his heart was broken.
This sudden heavy blow almost made William Huggins loosen his hand that was tightly holding the long sword. William Huggins cast a surprised look on the masked man, and that look seemed to ask, "Who are you?" At this time, Garima walked up to Char and said respectfully, "I, Garima, will serve you in the future." As soon as this was said, everyone was completely shocked. The real winner tonight was not the captains they expected, but the mysterious masked man in front of them. This made the pirates more curious about who this masked man was and why he had such a strong strength, and the faces of those captains turned very green. They fought hard all night but failed to grab Garima, a high-end combat force, and felt that they had spent the day in vain. Advertisement, but William Huggins still refused to accept it, and he challenged Char again. "Go to hell." After William Huggins finished this sentence quickly, he rushed towards Char with the momentum of breaking the wind, constantly waving the big knife wrapped with armament Haki. However, before Char made a move, Hugo beside him had already made a move. A hint of coldness flashed in Hugo's eyes, and the ability of the bat fruit suddenly activated, making his speed rise to the extreme, and he rushed back at William Huggins at an invisible speed. If even such a pirate can let him get close to his leader so easily, how can he survive in the future? So William Huggins and Hugo collided fiercely. Although Hugo's Haki had just been learned not long ago, his physical skills became very powerful under the effect of the bat fruit ability, enough to fight with William Huggins. For a while, neither side could do anything to the other, and the stalemate continued. You hit with a knife, I hit with a punch, and the fight was very fierce. The pirates present couldn't help but stare at this scene. I didn't expect that there is someone who can fight William Huggins like this. Too scary, this is unbelievable. This kind of strength is definitely not an ordinary person. I still underestimated the heroes of the world. These two people are strong enough to be considered strong in the entire West Blue Sea.
I didn't expect that I could see the fierce clash of two masters tonight. The pirates shouted while exclaiming in admiration.
Captain Dockman frowned. That man was evenly matched with William Huggins. Who are these two people? Advertisement. It's okay to be able to take out 600 million Baileys, but also have such terrifying strength? What's going on? It didn't take long for William Huggins to gradually reveal his flaws due to lack of physical strength, and was hit hard in the thigh by Hugo. William Huggins' thigh instantly made a bone fracture sound. He stepped back a few steps in pain, ready to rest for a few breaths to adjust his condition. However, how could Hugo give him such an opportunity? He continued to chase and beat William Huggins, making him unable to fight back and gradually showing signs of fatigue. Hugo's bat fruit ability bonus is so terrifying that it makes his physical strength and speed soar. Therefore, even if William Huggins has a strength advantage, he will not be Hugo's opponent once he fights Kaiju. As time goes by, William Huggins groans and dies tragically by the wall, with blood splattering. Everyone can't help but open their mouths in shock when they see this scene. That William Huggins is dead. You know, this William Huggins broke through the encirclement of Marine and looted a vault in Fane Country a while ago, and was killed just like that. Oh my god, William Huggins is dead. You know, the captain of their pirate group also died at the hands of the masked man a while ago. In this way, the captain and the vice captain both died here, and from then on, their pirate group will inevitably be swallowed up by others. Poor guys. I am more and more curious about the origins of these two people and why they have such terrifying strength. Even that William Huggins is not his opponent, it's amazing. If it were me, I'm afraid I wouldn't be able to stop even William Huggins' sword. After seeing this scene, the pirates really couldn't use any words in the world to describe their feelings at this time. It was really too terrifying and shocking. Captain Dockman saw this scene, his facial muscles kept twitching, and he said to his pirates, "Let's go, leave here." The men were a little confused and asked, "Why, Captain Dockman said dejectedly. I have no face. As soon as the voice fell, he left here in disgrace. The pirates under his flag 2.9 smiled bitterly and felt very ashamed. They all followed their captain's footsteps and left here. Captain Newton also left here in a depressed mood. To be honest, he couldn't even beat Dockman, let alone William Huggins. It's really ridiculous to say that he would come here to compete with so many strong men. If there is a regret medicine to buy in this world, Captain Newton will definitely buy it without hesitation. After seeing this scene, the pirates under William Huggins didn't know what to do. Their captain might have died at the hands of the masked man. Their vice-captain died at the hands of the hooded man. Now that their pirate group was truly leaderless, they didn't know what to do. 213 Dockman. At this moment, one of William Huggins's men suddenly shouted excitedly, "Kill those two people." As soon as he finished speaking, he picked up his weapon and pointed it at Char. Yes, 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 we want to avenge the vice-captain and the captain. Damn it, how dare they treat our vice-captain and the captain like this? I really can't stand it. I'm going to fight these people today. Today, either these two people die or I die. Ah! Fight with them, avenge the two bosses. The pirates who were watching the show were immediately scared, fearing that the tricks between masters would involve them. They didn't want to throw away their lives here. Shoot, shoot, don't stop. Even if Garima is strong, I don't believe he won't retreat in the face of so many of us. I'm really scared. They cherish their lives very much. After taking a sip of strong liquor, Char said, "Let me do it." Hugo nodded. In just a moment, 12 pirates died. In the next blow, Char used only 30% of his strength, and the pirates who were approaching him and trying to avenge his vice-captain William Huggins were completely killed. Advertisement. What a powerful force. Ding 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 ding. System prompt. Kill a pirate from the Long Dragon country and get 500 points. The pirates who were watching the show fled in panic. What a joke. They didn't want to throw away their lives in such a place. Captain Dockman snorted coldly and said, "Let's go and kill those two strange men." He thought that if he could kill the two competitors here at this time, he might be able to win the loyalty of Garima. Moreover, if these two people wanted to make a living with him in the future, would he have a chance to survive in this sea area? Even Captain Newton thought so. He opened his mouth fiercely, waved his weapon, and shouted loudly, "Kill those two stinky boys." The other relatively weak captains also ordered to encircle and suppress Char and others. In a moment, countless pirates drew their swords against Char and the others, and the atmosphere of the whole place changed. Char calmly knocked on the table, but his eyes were on Garima, and he said in a low voice, "Then let me see your strength." Garima smiled and said, "Then please wait for a while, let me kill these little bastards." As soon as he finished speaking, Garima's whole body burst out with powerful power, and his whole body was surrounded by flames. Fire Dragon, 140 million Baileys, known as the Fierce Dragon, Garima. The Devil Fruit ability he used is exactly the same as his nickname, both called Fierce Dragon. As Garima's flame power burst out, it seemed that the surrounding temperature also rose, and every pirate present felt like they were living in a hot hell. Oh, it's so hot. What is this? I feel so hot all of a sudden. Is this Garima's ability? What a terrible ability. I suddenly understand why so many captains want to fight for Garima. This ability is too terrifying. Although I'm far away from him, I don't know why I suddenly feel so terrible. Why don't we retreat? These pirates wanted to retreat before they even started fighting. Other captains couldn't help but want to retreat. Some captains had already moved away and were ready to leave the tavern. However, Captains Dockman and Newton did not back down. They were the overlords of the sea near the Kingdom of the Dragon. How could they not have the courage? Kill him. Let's join forces. The two pirate captains, who were originally enemies, became very tacit in this section. They understood each other's intentions with a slight eye contact, and pounced on the flaming Guerre-Maw in a very tacit understanding. The eyes of these pirates under William Huggins were red, and everyone's emotions were extremely excited, as if they would never give up with Char and Hugo. The men of the two captains who saw this scene each shot at Garima. I'm really more and more curious about who this masked man is. Support the captain, quickly, will their fight involve us? As soon as he finished speaking, Char stored photons in his right leg. Ding 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 ding. System prompt. Kill 12 pirates from the Long Dragon country and get 6,000 points. No matter how strong they're, too terrible power. Advertisement. Because the shock brought by Char's kick was too great, the captains and pirates who were fighting with Garima nearby couldn't help but cast their surprised eyes over there. When they saw the 560 bodies full of paste, they couldn't help but take a deep breath, their eyes filled with shock. After just one encounter, the two captains were beaten back step by step, without any chance to fight back. The remaining pirates who wanted to avenge their vice-captain and captain saw such a terrifying attack from Char, and their desire for revenge faded a little, and was replaced by an unprecedented sense of uneasiness. Wait, I always feel like I've seen this attack somewhere. The pirates were not idle either, while keeping a distance from Garima, using the long-range weapons in their hands for fire support, coupled with the extraordinary strength of the two captains, Garima was suppressed by the opponent for a while. Garima snorted and violently collided with the two captains. The pirates who were watching the show were even more shocked when they saw this scene. Keep attacking, don't stop. Compared to revenge, they still hoped to save their own lives. It can kill 12 pirates in one go. Light speed kick. At this time, Captain Doc, who was not far away from the tavern, noticed the abnormality of the tavern, and a hint of coldness flashed in his eyes. He strode back with anger that seemed to be real. The men showed a look of confusion on their faces, saying that they didn't understand why their boss suddenly went back. Why, is this all you have? Garima smiled contemptuously, with the same red color in his eyes as the flames on his body. The two captains in front of him were really helpless. Garima's ability was too strong. If they hadn't had a little strength, they would have been almost evaporated by the flames. At the same time, a familiar system ringtone sounded in Char's mind. 214 Unlucky Dockman. So many pirates fled in panic. The tavern that was originally crowded with people now became sparsely populated. The people present were all pirates with strong willpower and powerful strength. Even Captain Newton was a little absent-minded, and a flash of panic flashed in his eyes. He knew very well that if he was allowed to take Char's kick, he would definitely not be able to stop it and die like those pirates.
At this time, Garima found that he was distracted and exposed a flaw. A flash of coldness flashed in his eyes, and a fist wrapped in flames hit Captain Newton's chest fiercely, and immediately pierced a hole deep in Captain Newton's chest.
Damn it. Newton reacted quickly, but it was too late. His face was slightly unwilling, and his body flew out heavily without his control, fell heavily to the ground, and died tragically. The pirates under Captain Newton were stunned when they saw this scene. Oh my god, what happened to you, Captain? Dead. Our captain is dead. Captain Newton, wake up, don't make us worry about you. Damn it, this damn Garima. Such a big wound, alas, the captain is probably dead. That's right. Captain Newton 267 is no longer breathing. Captain Newton's pirates looked at Char with regret and fear. They left here with Captain Newton's body in their arms. They knew the gap between themselves and Char. Even if they rushed up and fought with Char, it would be useless. In the end, they might even lose their lives. Captain Dockman came back to his senses, when he found that his ally was killed by a sneak attack in just a few seconds. Wouldn't he be fighting alone? Another light speed kick was swung out. Advertisement. As soon as the voice fell, Dockman rushed out of the tavern and left here. What an international joke, he didn't want to face the attack of so many masters. Countless screams resounding through the sky continued to sound, meaning that countless lives will leave here. Dockman was caught by Garima accidentally, and flew backwards like a puppet with a broken string, spitting out a mouthful of blood in midair, and fell heavily to the ground with a tired face. Captain Dockman's men also followed him and ran out of breath, and then how could Char let them go so easily? It's all because of this man. The fierce collision sounded again, but how could Dockman alone be Garima's opponent? Char looked down at Dockman with an indifferent face, and said in a cold tone, if you were willing to hand over your 500 million Baileys today, I might spare your life. It's all because of this man. As long as there is green, there will be no worry about firewood. Just when Dockman was thinking this, the figure of Garima suddenly stopped in front of him. At the same time, a familiar system ringtone rang in Char's mind. If it weren't for this man, would he have ended up like this? Would his crew members have died? If it weren't for him, as long as he could survive, it would be fine. Retreat. He was stunned all of a sudden. What's even more terrible is that the pirates under the Allies have withdrawn, and those pirates who were watching have also left long ago. Only his Dockman troops are left. Dockman's eyes clearly showed clear hatred, and Char sighed deeply, with a yellow flash on his palm. Since the other party was unwilling to hand over 500 million Baileys, there was really nothing to say, so he let the man in front of him turn it into his points. Advertisement. At this moment, a flash of light fell to the ground, and then this dazzling yellow flash turned into a figure. This person was Char. After hearing the screams behind him, Dockman's face turned pale, but he did not stop to save one or two pirates, but walked forward regardless of everything. And there is also that ridiculously strong man wearing a mask. Is he alone to deal with such a strong Garima? This blow used up 80% of his strength and directly killed all the living in front. This is simply the most dangerous moment. Ding 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 ding. System prompt. Kill a pirate of Captain Dockman of the Long Dragon Country and get 500 points. No matter who the other party is, if you stop him, you will die. If it weren't for this man, he would be the biggest winner of tonight's game, and he would also get the high-level fighter Garima. He would not stop. If there were no crew members, he could recruit them, but if there was no life, there would be no life. Dockman's expression was a little cold, and he grinned fiercely, attacking Garima like a tiger descending from the mountain. Garima snorted lightly, and flames surged all over his body. He was not afraid of Dockman's rush. Ding 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 ding. System prompt. Kill 20 pirates of Captain Dockman of the Long Dragon Country and get 10,000 points. In such a dilemma, Captain Dockman can only grit his teeth and give orders. His Great Shaw Pirates group is now in a period of rapid development, so many activities require a lot of money as a backing. If Dockman is really willing to give him 500 million berries, he may really let Dockman go. But Dockman showed a ferocious look, and said with a paw, I will never give you 500 million berries, go to hell. Dockman, who knows that he is dead, will give Char 500 million berries. Besides, they are all pirates, and pirates have always been synonymous with cruelty. Dockman doesn't believe that the masked man in front of him will let him go. Maybe he will be killed after handing over 500 million berries. Moreover, the other party just killed his proud crew members. Even if he has a magnificent ship and amazing wealth, he can't recover to his former prosperity in a short time. There is no doubt that in this harsh environment of deceiving each other, he can only be swallowed up by other pirates who have completely lost his partners. In other words, Dockman is now gone. Everything was ruined by the masked Char in front of him. Why are you running? Our battle is not over yet. A fierce look flashed in Dockman's eyes. Behind him was the ridiculously strong and weird man wearing a mask. He could not just stop like this. He had to attack and kill the Garima in front of him quickly. 215 Death of Dockman at this time, Garima advised. Dockman, I advise you to hand over 500 million Baileys, maybe you can still survive. Bullshit. Dockman refused without hesitation, angrily. Char's mouth corners slightly raised, suddenly took off the mask, revealed his face, and smiled at Dockman. Do you know who I am? Dockman's pupils dilated rapidly, and when he saw Char's familiar face, a familiar name suddenly emerged in his mind. Poison Dragon Char. Dockman blurted out. He finally understood why the man in front of him had such terrible strength. The man in front of him is now known as the most likely to become the new Four Emperors. Defeating Marine Admiral, he can leave gracefully on the battlefield of Summit War. 270. Where there are many masters. First heard that Marine has listed Char as one of the most dangerous pirates, and has offered him a bounty of 1 billion Baileys. Dockman regretted his previous fight with this legendary man. Blame himself for being so stupid. Why did he participate in this competition? It turns out that he is the frog in the well. Char snorted disdainfully, and said in a low voice. Okay, go to hell. As soon as the voice fell, he strangled Captain Dockman to death without mercy. At the same time, the familiar system ringtone sounded in Char's mind. Ding 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 ding. System prompt. Killed Captain Dockman of the Dragon Country DOK Pirates, and obtained 2,000 points. Ding 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 ding. System prompt. The Dragon Country Dockman Pirates were wiped out, and a total of 100,000 points were obtained. Of course, Char would not waste the poor Haki on Dockman, and absorbed all of it to become his own powerful force. Garima clearly felt that the aura of the master in front of him became stronger, and a touch of admiration flashed in his eyes. Sure enough, a strong man like this was what he needed. For so many years, Garima was waiting for a strong man like Char to be his boss. Garima's eyes were full of admiration, and he lowered his head and said, Your subordinate Garima greets Char. This was said with great admiration, just like a subordinate greeting a captain. To be honest, Garima really didn't expect that the man in front of him was actually the legendary poisonous dragon Char. That was a master who defeated 2 admiral-level masters in the Summit War, which shows that his strength is extraordinary. Advertisement, and I heard that he has a powerful fleet. Just now, he saw the subordinate next to Char take action. The speed and physical strength of the subordinate really made Garima dumbfounded. As a result, Garima wanted to join Char even more. Following Char, who was destined to become the overlord of a place, was always much better than being a rural overlord in a corner of the Grand Line. Char smiled brightly and said, Welcome. He pointed to Hugo, who had just arrived, and said, This is our first team captain, Hugo. Hugo nodded to Galema and said with a smile, Hello, my name is Hugo. Galema smiled politely and said, Hello, I am Galema. Char cleared his throat and said, Galema, I will tell you your first mission right away without further delay. Galema was stunned for a moment, and then he showed ecstasy. He didn't expect that he could get a mission just after joining Char. Doesn't this show that Char has a high degree of trust in him? You said, I will definitely carry it out honestly, Galema said respectfully.
Char said seriously. I will now appoint you as the captain of the third team, and then recruit some people to become your subordinates. Do you understand? Galema widened his eyes in surprise. Galema pointed at himself excitedly and said nervously, You mean me, I am the captain. Yeah, Char nodded and said yes. Galem, who was recognized, suppressed the ecstasy in his heart and swallowed nervously. Swallowing his saliva, he said, Aren't you lying to me? Char and Hugo looked at each other and could see the shock in each other's eyes. They couldn't understand Germa's mood at this time, and they didn't understand why Germa was so excited and happy. So Char continued to nod and said, You are indeed appointed as the captain of the third team by me, but you need to recruit people on your own, is that okay? Advertisement. Germa nodded heavily, rolled his eyes, and after thinking carefully, he said, Is there a time limit, or other requirements? Char cast his eyes on Hugo and asked him, the chief steward, to explain.
After noticing Char's gaze, Hugo explained to Garima, We will leave the Long Dragon Country in 3 days.
After all, our great Shah pirates may reveal a flaw and be discovered by the group of Marines, so we have to be quick. And the number of team members in the third team must not exceed 30. Our ships are limited and cannot carry so many people.
More importantly, we want to lead troops. Galema listened carefully to Hugo's words with a serious look on his face, nodded, patted his chest and said confidently, Don't worry, I will do it well. Galema paused and said, But, I can't do it so quickly in 3 days, unless. After that, he cast his eyes between Hugo and Char. Char and Hugo were stunned, not understanding what Galema was talking about, so they blurted out, Unless what? You are willing to lend me a hand, Golema said in a serious tone. Char scratched his head and said, what do we need to do? Kill a few pirate groups. Garema's face suddenly became ferocious, and sparks burst out of his eyes. Char said with some interest, showing a cruel smile. Okay. Killing other pirate groups can not only get more points, but also get a lot of zombie soldiers. Char said. But before that, I have to do something. As soon as the voice fell, he used the ability of the Shadow Fruit to turn the dockman in front of him into an obedient zombie soldier. Garema was startled and said, what is this, zombie soldiers? Char smiled with his eyes narrowed. Hugo rolled his eyes aside. You know, when he first saw this thing, he was also scared. After all, who has seen such a terrifying thing? 216 shocked the royal family. The next day when the news of the Golema Tavern reached the royal family, it caused an uproar. The king of the Long Kingdom was shocked, with an incredible look on his face, and said with a little rapid breathing. You mean, William Huggins is dead? And his remnants are also dead? The Prime Minister nodded helplessly, thinking that he was ready to spread rumors at the beginning, but the shocking news of the death of William Huggins and his remnants came, making all his previous actions useless. The ministers were also very shocked. You know, they knew very well the strength of William Huggins. They knew clearly that William Huggins and his gang robbed and set fire to the people in the Long Kingdom, but they had no choice but that the country's power was not enough to eliminate them, so they often hated that they could not serve the country and defeat these hateful pirates. Hey, this can't be true, that's William Huggins. Who defeated William Huggins? I heard it was the masked man who defeated Captain William Huggins before. This is a good thing, everyone. This way, our Long country will really be stable. Scum like William Huggins should have died 25 years ago. In my opinion, we can set off firecrackers to celebrate the death of William Huggins. After the death of AB************* D like William Huggins, I believe the civilians in our country will be happy and smile more. Yes, we will no longer worry about pirates attacking the palace. These ministers were shocked and excited at the same time. William Huggins and others were the largest forces in the waters near the Long country. Captain Dockman and Captain Newton ranked second and third respectively. Now that William Huggins and other pirates are dead, it means that the pirate forces near the Kingdom of Long will be greatly weakened, and the Kingdom of Long will be able to live a better and more stable life from now on, and this phenomenon is what the king wants to see the most. At this time, the King of Long really wants to set off firecrackers to celebrate, and also wants to run to the temple of his ancestors to burn high notes to thank him for his protection. Although all the previous actions were a waste of time, the Prime Minister was still very happy. After all, he was going to plot to kill William Huggins and others. Although William Huggins had been killed in advance, he had completed the task in advance. However, not long after, another shocking news came. In that tavern, the news of Captain Newton's death has been confirmed. As soon as this news came out, the atmosphere in the court became even more excited. William Huggins and Newton are both two of the country's biggest worries died at once, leaving only one dockman. How could they not be happy? Advertisement, ha 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 ha, it's great that even Captain Newton died. Our Long country is going to be prosperous. From now on, we will finally live a stable life hee hee hee. Really don't worry about other pirates, now there is only Captain Dockman left. Maybe we can catch up with the development of Feian country. Ha ha ha, our Long country may really be as rich and powerful as Feian country. This unexpected surprise made the king and prime minister of Long country even happier. They both wanted to make their country stronger while they were still alive. Now two powerful pirates died unexpectedly. How could they not be happy? As long as the power of the pirates is weakened, it means that the development of their Long country will go further. The king of Long country raised his glass and shouted loudly, for our next development plan, Tianbei. Cheers, come on, drink to your heart's content. I need to take out the old wine that has been hidden in my house for many years, ha 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 ha. Today is a great day, two of my biggest worries have died. The ministers laughed and talked, and everyone's face was filled with happiness. A few hours later, the news that Dockman and his gang were wiped out reached the royal family. Everyone was shocked, and they were so shocked that they couldn't say a word. The prime minister shook the messenger excitedly and said, "What did you say? Dockman is dead? Are you lying to me?" The messenger smiled bitterly and said, "Dockman and others were indeed wiped out, because their ship was taken away by a man named Golema not long ago." As soon as these words came out, everyone danced with excitement. The king of the Long Dragon Kingdom stood up excitedly, with excitement and desire revealed in his eyes without any concealment. The three most threatening pirates in the waters of the Long Kingdom died unexpectedly, which also meant that from now on they were no longer afraid of pirate forces. Advertisement, ha ha ha, I didn't expect that William Huggins, Dockman, and Newton, the three great captains, were all dead. We are unstoppable. Many experienced development projects can be developed smoothly. This is really great. The ministers were in a better mood, and even the prime minister and the king were no exception. The smiles on their faces became more intense. The king of the Long Kingdom couldn't wait to pass on the order to let the people of the country know the good news as soon as possible, so that they would no longer have to fear the persecution of those pirates. The prime minister was anxious and asked all officials to start, asking them to inform 570 people of the country that the pirate bosses had been killed. Wow, William Huggins is dead. No wonder the country is so excited. But it wasn't the country that killed him. Why are you so excited? Alas, think about it, we won't live like this in the future. Yes, even without those pirate bosses, there are still those mediocre pirates. Alas, I don't know what to do. Even if all the pirates are dead, there are still those damn villains. As long as the public security situation in our country has not been fundamentally resolved, we will continue to suffer. Although a small number of civilians feel that it is not good, they still live their lives as usual. But most of the civilians in the Kingdom of Long Dragon are happy. I don't have to worry about those pirates robbing me when I go fishing in the future. After the pirate bosses are killed, I am afraid that those villains will be more restrained. That's great. This is good news. William Huggins is actually dead. This is something I never thought of. It's really amazing. I have a good brother who died at the hands of William Huggins. I really didn't expect that William Huggins would die. My good brother can be happy in the afterlife. 217 The Land of Flying Clouds at the same time. After the news that 3 pirate bosses in the sea area near the Long Kingdom were killed one after another reached the Feian Kingdom, everyone here was solemn. Because the neighboring country has become stronger, this is the scene they are most reluctant to see. After the king of Feian Kingdom pondered for a while, he asked in a low voice, "What is going on? Why did so many pirates in the neighboring sea die all of a sudden?" A minister stood up and told the king of Feian Kingdom about the general situation with a solemn face. The two countries are competing with each other, so the information flows very quickly, but there are still some errors which will not affect the importance. How could this be? After listening to the minister's report, the king of Feian Kingdom threw the wine glass on the ground and broke it. A while ago, William Huggins came here to rob the treasury. Others may not know how much Bailey is in the treasury, but the king and the ministers know it very well. Hidden here is all the wealth of their Chongyun country. Wealth worth 1 billion Baileys, yes, 100 billion. Now that William Huggins is dead, will this mean that the amazing wealth that William Huggins took out of their pockets will fall into the hands of the royal family? Once the other party is no longer threatened by external pirate forces and has such a large amount of funds, won't the other party fly to the sky? And what's more terrible is that their Feian country has been seriously damaged by this accidental robbery, and many economic development projects have not been carried out smoothly, so their national strength will decline to a certain extent. I have become weaker, and the other party has become stronger. This is not good news. Thinking of this, the old king of Chongyun country is in a really bad mood. Advertisement The ministers are also dejected, and they can't figure it out. Fire, fire. The pirates began to panic, and every pirate showed panic. Dilemma, with terrible flames all over his body, stood on that ship and shouted loudly. Those who surrender are also surrendered. I seem to have seen a F*K yellow flash bomb just now. What is this? Such an attack can be launched several times. Light speed kick, light speed kick, light speed kick. Sha Ya launched 3 more light speed kicks, with 50% of his strength. 3 yellow flash shockwaves instantly punched big holes in these pirate ships. Don't stop, keep firing shells. What's going on? What kind of attack is this? The many pirate groups that usually have hatred now stand together because of the threat brought by Garima, and temporarily join forces to form a strong united group. Garima's face was a little livid. Even with so many shells, he didn't dare to say that he could block all of them. Pirate ships are constantly speeding, and there is only one pirate ship following him. What a strong attack. Run, 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 run as hard as you can. Don't let them advance. Who is this? Why are you targeting us? Why is the other party so lucky? Although this B***** D William Huggins is dead, I can't be happy. It seems that the Long Kingdom is about to rise, and we can't ignore this neighbor. At this moment, a minister suddenly stood up, a flash of murderous intent in his eyes, and said calmly, "Sir, why don't we attack the Long Kingdom?" When the other ministers were stunned and didn't speak to express their opinions, the king nodded without hesitation and said in a deep voice, "Pass the order, all the national guards will attack the Long Kingdom, and this potential threat must be strangled." As soon as this was said, many ministers immediately opposed it fiercely. "Your Highness, please think twice. Although our army is much stronger than the Long Kingdom at present, the potential power of the Long Kingdom cannot be underestimated. If we attack us, we will only suffer losses, and we don't have any great cause now. What name should we use to attack?" Faced with the fierce opposition of the ministers, the king of Feian Kingdom said coldly, "Why are you so opposed to participating in wars against other countries? Do you have a vested interest in them?" As soon as this sentence came out, the ministers stopped talking with ugly faces, and a trace of hatred flashed in their eyes. This king is really getting more and more arrogant. You know, it's all because of their efforts over the years that the country has become so beautiful. But now saying this, isn't it chilling their hearts? At the same time, in a certain sea area of the Long Dragon Kingdom, there were countless screams that resounded through the sky, and begging for mercy at the top of their lungs. These pirates originally lived well on islands, but so many masters came all of a sudden. The man wearing a mask was super strong, and a flash bomb killed many people. But for them, the more powerful one was the man with flames all over his body. Their brothers and sisters were no match for him at all, and each of them could survive several moves in his hands. Facing such a terrifying opponent, these pirates suddenly had the intention to retreat, and everyone wanted to try their best to escape from here. However, the matter was not over yet. Advertisement. I really don't know what to do. It was Char who launched this attack. Is this pervert? This is pervert. Even if I stand so far away, I can feel the impact of the surging energy. It's too strong. Attack, attack. The pirates looked fearful. Sha Wen's light speed kick might make them unforgettable. Tell me this is not true. I really want to surrender. Captain, why don't we surrender? Light speed kick. Even with so many shells, I don't think you can stop it. Ha 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 ha. These proud pirates with strong self-esteem would not accept surrender. They aimed their guns at the ship where Garima was, trying to use artillery fire to delay the opponent's attack. At this moment, a yellow flash burst out from the ship in vain, destroying all the shells in the sky. I'm afraid it was launched by the masked man. Damn. Why are all our shells blocked? What's going on? The next moment, with a few low artillery sounds, countless shells rushed towards Garima's ship. We have lost many brothers. Damn it. Everyone, run. We are no match for him. Char raised his mouth slightly and said to Garima, I will help you when necessary, don't worry. Garima nodded with some gratitude. 218 That Char? In order to further improve the reading quality, the author is revising this chapter. Please read this chapter again after 24 hours. Please see the next chapter. If you have subscribed to the VIP chapter, you will not be charged again for the next viewing. If you have not subscribed, no fee will be deducted this time. 219 Marine arrives. These people will go out to sink the pirate ship where Char and others are. When the pirates saw Marine coming, they lost their patience and panicked. Damn it, why is Marine here? 370. Char frowned and asked Garima beside him. Do you know this person? Yes, this person is Marine Captain Charles Nickel, who is responsible for the work of eliminating pirates in this area. He is quite strong, even as strong as me. I fought with him before, and I was almost killed by him. Char hummed and said, Then let me kill him. As soon as the voice fell, Char's figure blurred in vain, turned into a yellow flash, and arrived at the Marine warship in the center at an indistinct speed. Those Marines never thought that the enemy would suddenly appear in front of them. They couldn't calm down all of a sudden. They were a little panicked and didn't know what to do. Why is there a person here? He is not wearing a Marine uniform. This guy is not one of us. Who is this? This must be the enemy. Everyone prepare your weapons. It seems that we are going to fight. How did this man appear here out of thin air? Hey, why do I feel that this man is a little familiar? These Marine soldiers were confused, and they couldn't understand why Yuan suddenly appeared in front of them. Not to mention the Marine soldiers, even the pirates who just surrendered were confused. Damn, he ran over there in a flash, and the distance is so far. These pirates were suddenly happy that they had just made the decision to surrender. Wow, it's a good thing we surrendered just now, otherwise it would be really bad. It's really fatal. It's okay, it's okay. The pirates wiped the cold sweat on their foreheads and said excitedly. Not to mention that these pirates were shocked, even the fierce dragon Garima was a little dumbfounded. Advertisement He had imagined that Char's strength would be ridiculous, even to a degree he had never thought of, but he never thought that Char could fly into the enemy's base camp in an instant. Isn't this speed too fast? Is this still a human? Is it a monster? At this moment, an amazing change occurred on the Marine warship. After a short trance, the Marines immediately reacted. Everyone's face returned to the seriousness before, and their eyes were filled with surging fighting spirit and endless killing intent. They half raised their weapons and aimed at Char. I believe that as long as Char makes a little movement, they will shoot and kill Char without mercy. The professional quality of the Marine soldiers really makes Suan Bing admire them. It is indeed the overlord of the sea, Char muttered to himself. If one day the crew of his great Sha pirates had such high professional qualities as the Marine soldiers, and could remain calm in the face of any crisis, then he could really laugh in his sleep. Marine Captain Charles Nickel glared at Char with fiery eyes, as if confirming something. Advertisement After a while, Charles Nickel seemed to have confirmed something important. He took a deep breath and said in a low voice, You are Poison Dragon? As soon as these words came out, the expressions of the Marine soldiers around them changed slightly, and they were filled with a strong sense of uneasiness. No wonder they felt that the sudden enemy in front of them was very familiar. It turned out that this person was the legendary super terrifying pirate who took away their Admiral Kizaru's sparkling fruit, Poison Dragon Char. This Poison Dragon Char is the public enemy of all Marine soldiers. In the Summit War, this Char was really a rat shit. If it weren't for him, Fire Fist Ace would have escaped. It was also because of this person that the Marines today lost their face, and their beloved General Sengoku was heartbroken. And the man named Char in front of them also killed Kizaru and Akainu. Akainu and Kizaru, who are they? Marine Admiral. This is the existence that every Marine soldier wants to become, but Char killed their idol in front of them just like this. How can they accept this? At this moment, a laugh came from behind the Marine soldier. Ah la la la, I really caught a big fish. A senior Marine officer who was obviously much higher in rank than Charles Nickel stood up. He was full of dangerous aura. Char, with a venomous look in his eyes, knew at a glance that this man in front of him was not that simple. As soon as this senior Marine officer appeared, the morale of these Marine soldiers soared as if they had found a backbone. Charles Nicholl said with a respectful look, lowering his head. Carlos Soroyan, Rear Admiral. It turned out to be Rear Admiral. Char looked at the Rear Admiral man named Carlos Soroyan in front of him with some surprise. You know, the position of Rear Admiral is just a senior officer lower than Vice Admiral. It can be seen that the Rear Admiral named Carlos Soroyan in front of him, his Admiral's origin is amazing, and his strength is also very good. Carlos Soroyan licked his lips, sparks flashed in his eyes, and pointed at Char excitedly, saying in a low voice, "Shoot, kill this man, and avenge our Marine admirals." As soon as the voice fell, countless bullets in the air flew straight towards Char. However, how could ordinary bullets have any effect on Char? Char's body blurred for a moment, and these bullets easily penetrated Char's transparent body, hitting the other side of the ship's board, and punched holes in the ship's board. It can be seen that if these bullets were replaced on an ordinary person, it would be enough to kill him hundreds of times. Carlos Soroyan raised his eyebrows, and it seemed that the other party was not as simple as he imagined, so he subconsciously put his hand on the scabbard tied to his belt, as long as Char showed a flaw. 220 Marine Captain, he will swing his sword mercilessly to kill this enemy. At this moment, Captain Charles Nicholl made a move, pouring all his Haki into his right fist, and attacked Char fiercely. Char snorted disdainfully, without even the ability of sparkling fruit, and just threw a normal punch, and knocked the Marine Captain Charles Nicholl out. Charles Nicholl spit out a mouthful of shocking blood in midair with an unbelievable look on his face. He must have never thought that he would be knocked out so easily, and then he fell into the sea miserably. The Marine soldiers on the surrounding Marine warships saw their Marine Captain Charles Nicholl fall into the sea, and they quickly jumped into the sea to help Charles Nicholl. No matter how high the professional quality of these Marine soldiers was, after seeing Char kill their superior in seconds, they were inevitably moved, their breathing became slightly disordered. On the other side of the pirate ship, the pirates couldn't help but open their mouths wide after seeing Char kill Charles Nicholl in seconds. Oh my god, this is really the Charles Nicholl we have always been afraid of? How come this Charles Nicholl is now a scum in front of Char? It's not that Charles Nicholl is too weak, but that Lord Char is too strong. I really think more and more that we are right to surrender. Fighting against a peerless master like Lord Char, even a million of me may not be the opponent of Lord Char alone. Delay time, flash bomb, with a low shout from Char. Even so, Char didn't dare to let down his vigilance against this person. He had a feeling that this Marine Rear Admiral Carlos Soroyan was not as simple as he imagined. Now that Char killed him like this, how can these Marine soldiers not be more angry? It's so scary. Advertisement. This is the pirate with a bounty of 1 billion, the poisonous dragon Char. These Marine captains and above are all masters who know 6 styles or Haki. Facing such masters, Char dare not use sparkling fruit ability to suppress and kill them with absolute strength. Every time Char attacked, a large group of Marines died. Ding 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 ding. System prompt. Kill a Marine captain and get 5,000 points. Yes, this Carlos Soroyan seemed to be waiting for something. Waiting for reinforcements, or waiting for an opportunity. No matter which one it was, Char could no longer fight with the Marine soldiers so leisurely. Light speed kick. Char gathered his powerful photon power on his right leg and swung it down with full force. That's right, swinging it down. The target he aimed at was not the Marine soldiers, nor the more dangerous Carlos Soroyan, but the Marine warship. With an explosion, many cracks appeared on the planks of the Marine warship, and the entire Marine warship began to sway, and countless Marine soldiers fell into the sea. Ah, who will save me? Nien. Help. I can't swim. Damn, you are not demon fruit power. What are you afraid of? Damn it, damn it. How could this Char be so insidious that he actually aimed at our Marine warship? Not far away, Carlos Soroyan, the highest person in charge of this Marine operation, was still watching the fierce battle in front of him with cold eyes. If it weren't for the ostentatious military uniform on his body, he might have thought he was an old man who came to watch the show. Is there no other way to attack? Ding 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 ding. System prompt. Kill a Marine and get 800 points. Char dodged these bullets perfectly with observation Haki. Ding 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 ding. System prompt. Kill 30 Marines and get 2,400 points. Go to hell. A man who looked like he was of the same status as Charles Nicholl, a high-ranking Marine officer, came out from nowhere, waving his 2 swords wildly in the air, with a clear look in his eyes. So Hugo made up his mind that he would practice hard in the future, so that he could fight Marine soldiers of Marine warships alone and become Char's right-hand man. But Hugo knew his own strength. If he went over, he would be beaten like a dog by these Marines. A hint of coldness flashed across Char's eyes, and he concentrated the powerful flash power on his little finger, and then aimed it at the Marine officer who was only aware of running around. Although the points were only 2,400, which was just a small difference for him, Char was a little surprised. Killing an ordinary pirate only got 500 points, but killing a Marine would get 800 points. Advertisement. Is this the difference between people? After seeing this scene from a distance, Garima once again clearly felt the huge gap between himself and Char, while Hugo, a capable cadre beside him, looked accustomed to it. Even if these people are not good, if they attack him from behind and use some conspiracy, Char can't say that they can defend themselves. Keep firing, don't stop. At this time, Char didn't know Hugo's thoughts. He was just playing with these marine soldiers. This strength is too strong. The marine soldiers said nothing more, their eyes were red, and they directly engaged in a firefight with Char. The marine officer who was just killed by Char was usually very good to these low-level soldiers, so he was loved by many marine soldiers. I always feel that he is waiting for something. However, Hugo felt uncomfortable all over. Just when Char was secretly complaining, countless bullets rushed towards him again. He also wanted to fight with these marines. A flash bomb with extremely high speed burst out from his little finger, and the dazzling yellow light made it difficult for everyone to open their eyes. It accurately hit the body of the marine officer, and instantly everyone heard an explosion that resounded through the sky. Come on, you are so weak. Char laughed while using observation Haki and armament Haki to fight these marines. Shoot, shoot, he actually killed Charles Nickel in a second. 221 Destroy the marine warship, the marine warship we have been with for a long time. Oh, I didn't expect it. After the marine soldiers fell into the sea, they could only swim slowly to other marine warships. Their pistols fell into the sea due to the vibration and could not be found again. After doing all this, Char did not stop his attack, but continued to swing the light speed kick. His target this time was several marine warships not far away. After those marine warships saw Char aiming at them, they were stunned, and immediately, under the command of their respective superiors, they made all kinds of precautions. But under the absolute suppression of Char's strength, what can be done with perfect precautions? Light speed kick. Char took a deep breath. He decided not to play with it anymore. He wanted to use the strongest light speed kick to kill all these marine warships in one breath. Gather the terrifying and desperate photon energy in his right leg, and then release it all in one breath. With a roar that resounded through the sky, a flash of light passed through the air, blasting all the creatures it passed by. After seeing such a terrible light speed kick attack, the marine soldiers jumped into the sea without hesitation and escaped. But their marine warships were not so lucky. Under Char's terrifying light speed kick, almost no marine warship was intact. They were all broken and tattered, and there was no trace of the spirited style of killing many pirate groups in the past. When Char landed in one of the marine warships, he felt that things were not as simple as he imagined. He always felt that something was wrong. It seemed that he had fallen into a trap. Wait, where is that Marine Rear Admiral Carlos Soroyan? Thinking of this, Char's heart sank, and his sharp eyes kept looking around, but he unexpectedly found that there was no familiar face of Marine Rear Admiral Carlos Soroyan anywhere. Damn, where is that guy? Advertisement. Char looked around anxiously, and at this moment, countless marine soldiers rushed up. Go to hell, Poison Dragon Char. Today I will do my best to hold you here. Mother, I'm sorry, I will sacrifice myself for justice today. Kill you. You be asterisk 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 D. How dare you kill our commander, damn it. I'm going to fight you. The marine soldiers rushed up with swords, looking very angry, and of course Char killed them without mercy. Ding 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 ding. System prompt. Kill an ordinary marine soldier and get 800 points. Ding 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 ding. System prompt. Kill 8 ordinary marine soldiers and get 1,600 points. Char thought it was over after killing these marine soldiers, but there were still countless marine soldiers rushing over from all directions, as if they were not willing to die one by one. The abnormal behavior of the marine soldiers, Carlos Soroyan's existence disappeared. All of this made Char feel a little uneasy, as if a huge conspiracy was being carried out against him. What is going on? Char couldn't figure it out no matter how hard he tried. After seeing Char kill so many marine warships, many pirates couldn't help but applaud. Lord Char is so powerful, he can kill so many marine warships in one go. As expected, our leader has such terrible strength. Great, great, great. As expected of our boss, he can destroy several marine warships with one strike. My god, this strength is too terrifying. Some pirates are admiring Char's strength, while others are feeling terrified. After all, the heavy strike is too terrifying to destroy countless marine warships with 10 strikes. Garima nodded with satisfaction. This is the boss he wanted to find. But only Hugo felt something was wrong. Hugo has been dealing with Marines for so many years, and he knows that Marines will not be so reckless, and will not fail so easily. There must be some trick. Hugo came to this conclusion, but he couldn't figure out what plan Marine had laid out for a while. At this moment, a gloomy voice came from the pirate ship. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Oh, hello everyone, I am Carlos Soroyan. Carlos Soroyan showed a bright smile, a strong murderous intent flashed in his eyes, and appeared behind the pirates. The pirates cast their astonished eyes on the Marine Rear Admiral Carlos Soroyan behind them. When did he appear behind them? How come they didn't notice it at all? Advertisement. And wasn't this Marine Rear Admiral Carlos Soroyan on the marine warship just now? How come he was behind them all of a sudden? Hugo's pupils dilated rapidly. He now understood everything. This was all the conspiracy of the other party. They deliberately let the marine soldiers delay Char's steps, and then their main force would surprise attack on their pirate ship. Hugo now understood everything. Marine never thought about dealing with Char from the beginning. Their initial goal has never changed. It has always been them. Hugo reminded anxiously. This is a surprise attack by Marine. As soon as these words came out, the pirates' faces suddenly changed, and even Garima couldn't help but be moved. A few seconds later, countless men wearing Marine justice coats jumped into their boat from the sea. They saw Marine officers, who were soaked all over, sneering at them. This group of Marine officers were not ordinary people. Each of them had terrifying strength. Hey, pirates, are you a little too proud of yourself? You have only one way to die now. Ha 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 ha. Goodbye, pirates. Ha 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 ha. Bye, poor pirates. This is the consequence of your tragedy. Ha 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 ha. These Marine officers all had malicious looks on their faces. Each of them was huge, and they exuded a dangerous and powerful aura all over their bodies, which made the pirates pale and shocked. Oh my god, how did these people get here? Too horrible. What a tragedy, what a tragedy. It turns out that all this was Marine's conspiracy. The reason why the fight went so smoothly was because Marine had been letting us win. Damn it, first didn't expect Marine to be so mean. 222 desperate pirates. It can't be called despicable, alas. The pirates were pale, and everyone's eyes were filled with despair. Facing so many Marine officers, even if they were more numerous, they were just a mob. How could they be the opponent of this elite division? I'm afraid they would be beaten like dead dogs in just one encounter. At this time, the fierce dragon Garima stepped forward. He stared at the Marine officers with fiery eyes, and his whole body burst into terrible flames. Let me meet you. You be *********** D Marine officers. Garima's eyes were filled with the same red color as the flames all over his body. Marine Rear Admiral Carlos Soroyan raised his mouth slightly and said in a low voice, "Interesting." As soon as the voice fell, he rushed to Garima. A fierce collision sounded, and the figures of Carlos Soroyan and Garima overlapped continuously, and the two were evenly matched. The Marine officers behind him frowned and were about to join the battle to help their Marine Rear Admiral defeat this Garima. Hugo shouted at the top of his lungs, "We only have one fight now, charge, 25 must wait until Char comes." A hint of fighting spirit flashed in the eyes of the pirates. Yes, as long as they wait for the legendary pirate Char to come back, they can survive. So what if the opponent is a Marine officer? As long as they work together, can't they kill one or two Marine officers? These pirates are also brave. Later, under Hugo's continuous use of sugar-coated bullets, the blood hidden in their bones and blood completely broke out, and everyone showed a ferocious look, like a ferocious beast. The Marine officer's footsteps stagnated slightly, watching the pirates suddenly change like a substance, feeling a little unbelievable. They didn't understand why these pirates suddenly changed so much, and it was a kind of earth-shaking change. Kill those Marine officers, let them know how powerful we are. Let these damn, hateful Marine officers know that we are not easy to mess with either. Do you think we are sick cats? I will beat you to death. Today, I, Lao Liang, will fight with you. If I don't kill you, I won't go back to see my family today. Yes, fight with these Marine officers. Let you taste the strength of our pirates. Come on, let your horses come. These pirates rushed towards the confused Marine officers like mad dogs. The Marine officers quickly reacted and raised their swords to fight with these pirates who rushed over. Even if they didn't understand why these pirates had changed so much, they had to kill them first. After fighting for a while, although the Marine officers had a clear advantage, their morale and combat effectiveness were obviously damaged. Advertisement: the pirates suffered heavy losses due to the Marine officers' assault, but they did not choose to give up, but continued to fight desperately till the Marine officers attacked. However, there are still new Marine soldiers joining the new queue, rushing over desperately. Yes, I have Seastone here. Char, who focused all his attention on the Marine soldiers, did not notice that his own pirate group was being attacked. Damn, it hurts, but I can't give up. There are too many Marine soldiers. Even a strong Char can't kill so many scattered Marine soldiers in one go. Char kept swinging light speed kicks to blow these Marine soldiers to death. He had to face two masters at once. They were clearly fierce sea kings in sheep's clothing. The next moment, Char used the Shadow Fruit ability. They fought more fiercely than the other, and they seemed not afraid of death. None can be left alive. Ding 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 ding. System prompt. Kill 40 ordinary Marine soldiers and get 3,200 points.
Light speed kick, light speed kick, light speed kick.
At the same time, their boss, the Marine Rear Admiral Carlos Soroyan, was not feeling well. He had already had a hard time dealing with Garima, and then Hugo came behind him. Ding 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 ding. System prompt. Kill an ordinary Marine soldier and get 800 points. You don't live here today. Advertisement: the death and injury of their companions did not make this group of people heartbroken, but instead aroused their fighting spirit. Char, go to hell. Char's teeth squeaked, and a hint of murderous intent flashed in his eyes. I didn't expect that he would expose his second fruit ability here, but it doesn't matter. None of these Marine soldiers can be left alive today. Char has killed so many Marine soldiers without realizing it, and he is a little weak. At the same time, on the Marine warship, Char was fighting desperately with these Marine soldiers, using his fruit ability to kill these Marine soldiers without mercy. Not long after the fight, Carlos Soroyan was at a disadvantage, and as time passed, the scars on his body became more and more, and a lot of blood flowed out of the wounds. If this is true, then Char can only use that trick. Hugo, who has obvious advantages in speed and physical strength, and Garima, whose whole body is covered with flames and makes him afraid to fight in close combat, no matter which one of them, even if he fights alone, Carlos Soroyan dare not say that he can win. I will fight you today. The marine officers realized that these pirates were not as simple as they imagined, and they were not as easy to deal with. They were not a bunch of low-level pirates as the intelligence said. Even though these pirates were wounded, they were still unwilling to give up the fight and still picked up their weapons to fight these marine officers. Ah, Lao-san. I will avenge you today. Carlos Soroyan gradually felt that he was physically exhausted, and he was already showing signs of fatigue. After all, it was still a bit difficult to deal with two masters whose strength was not inferior to him. Assholes and they were two demon fruit powers. Carlos Soroyan slowly fell into a bitter battle. Damn it. Brothers, push him into the sea. He has demon fruit power. As long as he enters the sea, he will die. 223 Defeat Ronald. Dark matter similar to shadow emerged from Char's body and invaded the cold marine soldiers at an alarming speed. The bodies of these marine soldiers occupied by shadows underwent unimaginable and amazing changes. The bodies that were originally impossible to move began to shake again, supporting the long dead bodies and standing up shakily. Countless marine soldiers who had just died became obedient and hideous zombie soldiers, and began to attack their former companions. After being attacked by these marine soldiers, they were a little confused. Even if they had high professional qualities, they had no reaction to their companions who had died for a long time suddenly becoming enemies. What the hell is going on? Wait, isn't this Lao Ju? How did he become like this? What the hell is going on? Wow, it stinks. What is this smell? It's really disgusting. What a disgusting, pungent and ugly smell. It feels a little strange. Just when the marine soldiers didn't understand what was happening, these zombie soldiers who were reborn after being controlled by the shadow fruit rushed towards their former teammates. Advertisement: these marine soldiers had no idea why their long-dead companions suddenly became enemies, and then they were all ruthlessly killed and turned into new zombie soldiers. A Marine Captain Ronald Edgeworth had a cold look in his eyes. He was mature and could tell at a glance that these former subordinates had become the enemy's helpers, so he immediately ordered, "They are not your companions anymore, shoot them and kill them." Even so, the Marines were still a little hesitant. After all, the opponent's face was exactly the same as the familiar face in their memory. How could they do it? Shoot! Ronald Edgeworth's cold words reached everyone's ears. At this moment, a scream that resounded through the skies suddenly came. Everyone couldn't help but cast their eyes to the source of the sound. They saw that several Marines were besieged and killed by a large group of zombie soldiers. The next moment, something unimaginable happened. The Marines who were besieged and killed by the zombie soldiers stood up staggeringly as if they were reborn. The difference from before was that these Marines had dull eyes. There was still shocking blood created by the zombie soldiers on their bodies, and there was no sign of living people at all. The unimaginable scene attacked all the Marines present like a shockwave. At this time, they couldn't help but waver at this moment even if they had fighting spirit. Some Marines couldn't accept this fact and sat on the ground with a blank face. Marine Captain Ronald Edgeworth grinned fiercely, and immediately fired a few shots, hitting several zombie soldiers on the spot. The zombie soldiers fell to the ground without even a scream. "See, they are no longer your partners. Why are you still hesitating? Maybe you will be their next target." Ronald Edgeworth's words exploded in everyone's ears, and these Marine soldiers were cheered up, and everyone rekindled their fighting spirit. Well, not bad. Just when Ronald Edgeworth thought that the matter had come to an end and he breathed a sigh of relief, Char, who had been ignored for a long time, suddenly appeared behind him, speaking words like the abyss, and gave Ronald Edgeworth a fatal blow from behind. Ronald Edgeworth felt a piercing pain in his heart. Because Char had no mercy this time, poor Ronald Edgeworth did not even feel the gap of pain, and died tragically. Just as Ronald Edgeworth fell in a pool of blood, a familiar system ringtone rang in Char's mind. Ding dee. System prompt. Kill Marine Captain Ronald Edgeworth and get 10,000 points. After seeing their superiors being killed, the Marine soldiers were full of disbelief. A strong sense of uneasiness filled their hearts. Is this Char still a human? This is a god. How terrible. Even the Marine captain is not his opponent. This man is too scary. He killed our Marine captain with just one strike. Damn, how strong is this man? Can we still defeat this man? Damn, how can such a scary man exist? What should we do? All of us combined are no match for him alone. Facing Char, who possessed superb skills, the Marine soldiers suddenly panicked. Everyone's body trembled violently, and there was no burning fighting spirit in their eyes. However, what happened in the next moment made them dumbfounded, and their bodies trembled even more. They saw Char pouring the shadow into the cold body of Marine Captain Ronald Edgeworth. Just after the shadow entered the body of Marine Captain Ronald Edgeworth, who should have been completely dead, suddenly stood up as if alive, with his eyes blank, just like those zombie soldiers. When the Marine soldiers saw this scene, they felt their hearts trembled in vain. They felt it was too incredible. Oh my god, how come Marine Captain Ronald Edgeworth has become like this? Are we going to fight our boss, Marine Captain Ronald Edgeworth, like this? This? No, Marine Captain Ronald Edgeworth can abuse me with one hand. Damn it, you actually manipulated the bodies of the dead in such a despicable way, it's so abominable. Char, are you still human? Hole, it's so abominable and despicable. Bang. In addition to panic, the Marine soldiers also felt angry. It's no wonder that they would be angry about such things if they were in other people's shoes. There was no time to complain to them so much. Char had just discovered the abnormality on the pirate ship, but he had the confidence to kill all the Marine soldiers in front of him in one breath. Kill them, my zombie soldiers. With Char's order, these zombie soldiers rushed towards their former teammates as if they had spirits. 224 Carlos retreats while countless zombie soldiers were fighting with the endless Marine soldiers. Char continued to control more shadows to pour into more corpses, giving birth to more zombie soldiers to fight with the Marine soldiers. At first, many Marine soldiers were killed because of Char's bravery, and then the zombie soldiers' sneak attack caught these Marine soldiers off guard, so the Marines suffered heavy losses. Ding 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 ding. System prompt. Kill a Marine soldier and get 800 points. Ding 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 ding. System prompt. Kill 50 Marine soldiers and get 4,000 points. Damn, these things will never be killed, this is too much. Too scary, it feels like you can never kill them all. Grit your teeth and don't admit defeat, let them know our Marine strength. Yes, let's not surrender to a mere pirate, even if the other party is so powerful. While complaining about the endless zombie soldiers, the Marine soldiers encouraged each other not to give up the fight and to persevere. At the same time, Char's eyes flashed with brilliance and he glanced at the pirate ship. He thought to himself, wait a little longer, I'll be here soon. At the same time, on pirate ship 670, a group of pirates were fighting a life and death battle with the Marines. Go, these shitty Marines underestimated us. Let them know the power of our pirates. Gaga gaga gaga, go to hell, Marine officers, advertisement. Maybe after this battle, Lord Char will value our bravery. A fierce collision sounded, and Carlos Soroyan could not stop the joint attack of the two powerful enemies. He was immediately shocked back several steps, he was even more exhausted. There were only a dozen of them, while the other side had hundreds of people, and several pirates were as strong as them. The pirates roared and attacked the Marines again and again with all their might, and the Marine officers, who were originally few in number, were defeated. While the other pirates suffered heavy losses, his proud subordinates also suffered heavy losses, which made Carlos Soroyan even more distressed. These Marine warriors were all brought up by him. Seeing them seriously injured one after another, how could they survive? These damn bastards, damn it. A man who used to be a captain, bloodline Madara, had a flash of hatred in his eyes, and excitedly pointed his knife at the Marines, saying in a low voice, "Charge, don't retreat." After seeing their former captain say such heroic words, the pirates behind them who had originally wanted to retreat could not say anything, and used actions to express their feelings at the moment. Regardless of their physical injuries, they once again rushed towards the Marines. But the two tough opponents in front of him would not give Carlos Soroyan any time to think. The two figures approached him again at lightning speed. Carlos Soroyan's pupils dilated rapidly, and he quickly waved his sword to block the joint attack. They had to retreat. However, there were still some Marine generals who didn't have time to escape, and were accidentally killed by the angry pirates who were chasing them, and suddenly there were screams that resounded through the sky. Garima and Hugo said each other, and both of them burst out with powerful momentum. What are you looking at? Back off, back off, back off. Damn it, these people are never done. Why are they like mad dogs one after another? Go, charge, charge, charge forward as hard as you can. Although Garima and Hugo easily blocked the attack, Carlos Soroyan, who took the opportunity to jump into the sea, had disappeared for a long time, which made the two regret it. At the same time, after seeing this scene, the Marine generals who were fighting with the pirates all jumped into the sea to escape tacitly. Since their superiors had issued a retreat order, why didn't they run? Humph. Advertisement, retreat. Teach these self-righteous Marines a lesson, ha 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 ha. CFFE. Although the Marines were very annoyed by such a lingering tactic, they would not give up, but stood up and continued to fight with these pirates, with fighting spirit in their eyes, as if the dignity from Marine would never allow them to retreat and surrender. Yes, show our Marine style, kill these pirates, let them know that we Marines are not easy to mess with. After most of the Marine generals got rid of the pirates in front of them, they left the pirate ship and went away. These pirates in front of them were like bloodthirsty beasts that only knew how to bite the target in front of them to death, which made these Marine officers and generals very helpless. Carlos Soroyan gritted his teeth and said to himself, "Don't let them look down on us. Marine officers, is this all your strength? Good dish, use all your strength, I'm so disappointed. Marine, stay there and don't move, let lousy kill you." Such a scene is also the same in other places. The former captains were originally some cruel and ruthless people. While they had strong strength to give the Marines a headache, they also encouraged their partners to continue attacking, which annoyed the Marines and senior officers. Damn, are these people crazy? A Marine general struggled to block the joint attack of several pirates, and his face was already showing fatigue. Even though he was very powerful, he felt helpless in the face of such a lingering and desperate fighting style. Yes, 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 we must use this battle to prove to Lord Char that our strength should not be underestimated. After Carlos Soroyan saw this scene after scene, The murderous intent in his eyes became stronger. He really didn't expect that such a smooth plan would lead to such a situation. He really didn't expect the situation to develop to this point. That's right, we are Marine, how can we be afraid of pirates? Carlos Soroyan rolled his eyes, and immediately made a decision and shouted loudly. Retreat. As soon as the voice fell, he used a powerful sword to slash Hugo and Garima in front of him, and then jumped into the sea and fled. Ha ha ha. The angry pirates even jumped into the sea, trying to hunt down the Marines who had already escaped. 225 Three new teams formed. Hugo and Garima are both demon fruit power. Even if they have amazing physical strength, they are still powerless in the face of the sea and cannot chase the Marine. Did we win? A pirate captain said in disbelief. He has lived for so many years, but this is the first time he can defeat his natural enemy Marine. He really didn't expect this. This is simply a dream. Yes, we won, ha ha ha, ha, we won this battle, ah. Ha, finally won this battle, and ha ha ha, I really didn't expect that first couldn't beat Marine. This is simply a dream, these Marines dare to run, ha 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 ha. We beat Marine, ha 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 ha. The pirates laughed loudly like children who got their favorite toys, and the captain smiled brightly. This victory was really hard won. They paid nearly 90% of the casualties to win this battle. There were corpses everywhere, blood was splattered everywhere, and the deck was covered with blood, as if it had turned into a bloody hell. At the same time, on the Marine warship side, the situation was completely one-sided. All the Marine soldiers had died, and only Char and his zombie soldiers were standing here. This battle ended with the pirates' tragic victory. The fleeing Marine Rear Admiral Carlos Soroyan half emerged from the sea not far away, and his subordinates, the Marine generals, were also floating near him. Carlos Soroyan looked at the direction of the Great Shaw pirates with a very vicious look, and the scars on his body seemed to be silently telling him not to forget this unforgettable hatred, and let him never forget what happened today. These damn pirates, we will definitely come back, a Marine general said viciously, and he was also seriously injured. Advertisement, that's right, in the near future, we must let these pirates know that they are wrong. We will definitely take revenge on these damn pirates in the future and let them know the crimes they have committed. What happened today is the most unforgettable thing in our lives. Damn it, damn it, damn it. These damn pirates, I didn't expect that there would be such a day when they would ride on my head. Just wait and see, pirates of the Great Shaw pirates. Listening to the words of the Marines, Carlos Soroyan showed a ferocious smile, sparks bursting in his eyes, licked his lips and said, "Ah, yes, we must kill these pirates in the future." In this operation, he lost many of his men. If he guessed correctly, he only had these senior Marine officers around him. Those Marine soldiers were probably not Char's opponents and would be killed. In other words, Carlos Soroyan really became a commander without troops. How can Carlos Soroyan bear this defeat? Besides, if the naval headquarters knew about this defeat, how would they punish him, Carlos Soroyan? This loss is not a small loss, but all the Marine soldiers were lost, and only the Marine generals were left around him. How could Carlos Soroyan continue to make a living and fight against the pirates here? Regardless of so much, Carlos Soroyan decided to go back to the Marine branch first, believing that as long as he returned there, he could reorganize his forces. Besides, although he was indeed not a match for Char, he could report this matter to the naval headquarters and let the people above decide how to deal with it. At that time, perhaps the people above would send a stronger force to go there, and it is possible that they would devote all their resources to him to make his military force stronger. Before leaving, Carlos Soroyan looked back fiercely again in the direction of the Great Shaw pirates, and said in a low voice, "Char. Great Shaw pirates, I will never forget you." There was a hint of hatred in his tone. These Marine generals also cast hateful eyes on the pirate ship where the Great Shaw pirates were. Those Marine soldiers were also their subordinates. All their subordinates died in this operation. I am afraid that no one can survive. Although they expected that a large number of Marine soldiers would die here when they made this plan, they still couldn't help the anger in their hearts when they really faced this sad news of death. Please give flowers 0. In this way, Carlos Soroyan and other Marines left here in disgrace. Later, Char returned with his zombie soldiers, which made the pirates more excited. They looked at Char with such admiration. Because of this battle, the pirates were completely convinced by the powerful Char, and everyone stayed in the Great Shaw pirates sincerely. Those captains who had second thoughts no longer dared to have other thoughts. Char put the zombie soldiers he got this time into Garema's 3 teams, and at the same time, according to the original agreement, he added the returning pirates in front of him to Garema's team and let him lead. Ha ha ha, Captain Garema, please give me more advice in the future, ha 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 ha. We all saw Captain Garema's strength just now, advertisement. It's amazing that he could beat that powerful Carlos Soroyan into this state in one go, ha 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 ha. Yes, 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 that's right, I still remember what that devil grandson Carlos Soroyan looked like at that time. The fierce dragon fruit, it's really a very strong fruit ability. Yes, the flames coming out of the whole body are really scary. Captain Garima, I am convinced by you, too powerful, too powerful, too powerful. From now on, I will be your little brother. If you have anything to do, please tell me immediately. I will listen to you obediently and never say a word. Yes, 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 never say a word, absolutely unconditional obedience. If anyone disobeys what you say, Captain, Lao Wu, will definitely beat him to death. Ha 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 ha, Captain Garima, don't worry. The pirates said with a smile. Even the former captains of the major pirate groups nodded and expressed their loyalty. No matter what happened in the past, I will work for you in the future. Come on. I am lucky enough to be able to fight side by side with my former subordinates. Ha 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 ha. Captain, please rest assured, I will definitely listen to you in the future. Captain Garima, my name is Hagen, 226 the next goal. Garima nodded with a smile. Of course, he was very satisfied. He could get so many elite subordinates at once. Although their fighting power was greatly reduced because of the battle just now, they were finally a strong force. What made him even happier was that there were many captains among his subordinates. You know, these captains are all veterans in the sea area of Long Long Country. They have rich experience and are stronger than ordinary pirates. How can Garima not be satisfied? And you have to know that Garima's boss is the poisonous dragon Char, which makes Garima even more satisfied. Hugo held his chin and asked Char, what should we do next? Char sighed deeply. He really didn't expect things to turn out like this. I'm afraid that the Marine, 950, will tell the people above about his own affairs after Carlos Soroyan returns to his base. At that time, his existence will be exposed here. Maybe there will be Marine admirals who come to settle accounts with him. Char can't say he can win against old fighters like Sengoku and Garp. Even Akainu last time, if Char hadn't poured thousands of shadows into his body to enhance his power for a short time, Akainu would be the one alive now instead of him. And the time he fought with Kizaru, if Char hadn't attacked him by surprise, would he have defeated Kizaru so easily? Let's not talk about Sengoku and Garp, the old masters, let's talk about Aokiji, who is not a simple person either. Although Akainu is not the commander-in-chief of the Marines as in history, Aokiji is the commander-in-chief of the Marines. In his previous life, Aokiji had already revealed amazing strategies and profound wisdom. Coupled with his smooth way of dealing with things, I believe that the New World pirates will not have an easy time in the future. Seeing that Char stayed there, Hugo called him, Leader? Leader? Char finally came to his senses, with a helpless look on his face, and said in a low voice, I don't know either. Now the main force of the Great Sha Pirates, Team 1 and Team 2, are on standby in the Flying Dragon country, and for a moment, Char couldn't think of what to do next. At this time, Garima said, why don't we go back to the Long Dragon country first? Char and Hugo nodded thoughtfully. After all, the main force of the Great Sha Pirates, Team 1 and Team 2, are on standby in the Long Dragon country, and it is also a good choice to join their main force first. Moreover, Char glanced at the wounded Team 3 members behind him, and sighed slightly. These newly joined members might not be able to play any role in a short time, so it would be best to let them return to the Long Dragon country to rest for a while. So, the fleet of the Great Sha Pirates began to return to the Long Dragon country. Because of Garima's strategy, after annexing all the big pirate groups, these pirate ships naturally belonged to the Great Sha Pirate Group. It just so happened that Char could place his zombie soldiers on these ships. At first, Char was worried that there were not enough ships, but now it seems that he thought too much. Advertisement after Garima and Hugo, as well as a large number of captains living in the waters near the Long Dragon Kingdom, they came to the conclusion that they should go to a place called Andy Island to rest. This island called Andy Island has rich resources and is also a place to recuperate. It is the best place for these wounded to recover from their injuries. In order to guard against other enemies, Char transferred the first and second teams to Andy Island and asked them to capture several nearby islands at will, so that they could form a pincer attack. On the second night after arriving at Andy Island, Garima proposed to Char a plan to seize the material resources of the Long Dragon Kingdom, and Sha nodded and agreed on the spot. And now the supplies of the Great Sha Pirates are too much. First of all, the problem of medicine. The problem of the three teams is too serious, because that battle caused almost everyone to be seriously injured, resulting in an urgent shortage of doctors and medicines, and the neighboring Long Long country has such high-quality resources. And Garima also proposed a very attractive idea. He thought that Marine might dispatch heavy troops because of Char, so it might be possible to use the banner of the Great Sha Pirates to recruit more pirates in the Long Long country. Although their combat effectiveness and character are not very good, considering that the next battle is likely to waste a lot of cannon fodder, Char is more in favor of the plan to attack the Long country. Garima bowed his hands seriously and said, "Sir, how many people do you think should be sent to attack the Long country?" Char snorted disdainfully, waved his sleeves, and said, "Only me is enough." When this came out, Garima was dumbfounded, but there was nothing wrong with what he said. Yes, it really only takes Char alone. No matter how powerful the Long country is, it is impossible to defeat an admiral or four emperors level master. Not to mention the Long country, just say this West Blue, there are not many people who can fight Char alone. In the end, Garima smiled bitterly and said that you still need people to carry supplies, and asked Char to agree to go to the Long country with a temporary team of various teams. Of course, Garima must accompany him for such a big event. As for Hugo and Nar, Char asked them to stay in Kifong. Advertisement. Garima deliberately spread the news that the Great Sha pirates had arrived and were preparing to recruit crew members in the Long country, which immediately caused all the pirates in the Long country to stir up a commotion and gathered in the Long country in an instant. Look, isn't the man sitting in the middle chair Char? F*K, they look exactly the same, that man is the legendary poisonous dragon Char. It seems the news is true. 2.3, he also inadvertently reveals a strong aura, it's really scary. Is this the famous Char? It's just as his name suggests. Quick, tell the captain and the others, this is true, the legendary Char is really going to recruit crew members, we must seize this opportunity and join the big ship of the Great Sha pirates. Yes, I also heard that if you join the Great Sha pirates, you can still keep your original status, it is very likely to be true. Isn't that great? You can hold on to a big thigh and still maintain your original status and freedom, hurry up. It's really great, there is really no such condition. These pirates talked in unison, and everyone's eyes were filled with desire and ambition. 227 recruiting troops. The news spread farther and farther, and it attracted many pirates to come. It is said that even pirates from the neighboring seas came from afar, which shows how much people yearn for the gold plaque of the Great Sha pirates. The final impact was so great that even the masterminds behind the scenes, Garima and Char, were a little surprised. After a selection, they were able to get hundreds of pirates and 5 pirate groups. Although this group of people are a mob, not to mention their strength level, it is hard to say whether they are loyal to the Great Sha pirates. It is good enough if they have no second thoughts. But there are so many people, and Char and Garima simply don't know how to deal with them. Should they give up on them and treat them as consumables like cannon fodder, or reuse these people and make them become the real Great Sha pirates? After some thinking, Char decided to adopt the former method and treat these people as consumables of cannon fodder. Of course, those who survived on the battlefield in the end will definitely be much more loyal, and then Char can make these people become real crew members of the Great Sha pirates. 25 But now, let them stay in the bay and put them aside for a long time. Then this method is only a temporary solution and not a fundamental solution. After a few days, more and more pirates came to join the group, so many that Char and Garima were dumbfounded. They really didn't expect this scale. They thought there would be only a few hundred people at first, but so many people came. It was really a bummer. Char and Garima decided to raise the threshold and keep more pirates out. After all, it's not good to have too many pirates joining the group. If these people do something bummer in the name of the Great Sha pirates, wouldn't it be terrible? Besides, with so many pirates, they can't completely control them for a while. They must suppress and win them over for a long time, and give them favors to make these pirates completely return to the Great Sha pirates. At the same time, in the royal family of the Long Dragon Kingdom, the king and his ministers were already confused. How did the legendary and terrifying Daxia pirates come? What the hell is going on? Their arrival did not surprise the king and prime minister of the Long Kingdom. After all, any pirate group could pass by here these days, and it was not surprising to see 1 or 2 famous pirate groups. But the problem was that the building pirates suddenly swaggered to recruit soldiers at their door. What is this for? Advertisement doing so much at their door, is this going to mess with their Long Kingdom? Even if it is not the case, recruiting soldiers at their door, so many pirates poured into the country all of a sudden, who would not be afraid of this powerful force that is so strong that it suffocates people? What's more terrible is that there are more and more pirates in the past few days, and these pirates are not good guys. They are wreaking havoc in the city all day long, and even the security forces can't control these pirates. You say to fight these pirates, but you are no match for others. If you don't care, you will be accused of tax thieves by your own civilians. What should they do? They are also desperate. What is going on? Have we offended the Great Sha pirates? There are really more and more pirates, and our public security situation is getting worse and worse. Oh my god, I heard that many famous captains came here just to join the Great Sha pirates. Yes, I also heard that the long-famous Captain Chang Belong from the neighboring Chongyun country has come. This is really a bummer. Why are there so many things? And they are recruiting soldiers from us. What exactly does the Great Sha pirates want to do? Is their purpose really that simple? Are they going to fight us? If they really want to cause trouble for us, then we have no way to deal with it. Can we invite Marines who we haven't seen for many years? These damn Marines must not dare to come. After all, the opponent is Char. It's useless for them to come here if they are not at the level of Marine Admiral. This is not okay, and that is not okay. What should we do? Ha 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 ha, it's over, our long country is finished. Hey, don't talk about such things. The ministers talked about it in a flurry, and everyone was dejected. It couldn't be blamed on them. After all, the opponent was the legendary and long-established Great Shah pirates. Facing such a desperate and suffocating opponent, anyone would be desperate. Even the king of the long country was helpless. Facing such a serious situation, he had no choice. Should I tell Char of the Great Shah pirates that you are causing trouble for me, so get out of here? If I say that, then the long kingdom will be wiped out by angry pirates within a day. Not to mention these pirates, as long as Char comes alone, they will be finished, it's that simple. But there is no reason to just sit there and do nothing. Their army is parked at your door. Don't you think you can't be nervous? Advertisement, and what's more terrible is that the other party is not a simple person. This is the famous Great Shah pirates. They have always done big things. For example, the Summit War was messed up by Char, and the bait Fire Fist Ace that was originally used to trap Whitebeard was actually rescued by Char in the end. This shows how terrifying the other party is. The king of the long kingdom couldn't help but shake his head and said in a low voice, "Ministers, is there any way to solve the current dilemma?" 587. As soon as this was said, the ministers responded immediately. "No way, wait to die. No, it's Kaido, Marine won't come. You're using this excuse even if you won't come. Don't ask us, we're all desperate. The other party is the Great Shah pirates, and their leader Char has killed big names like Marine Admiral Kizaru and Akainu. Can we be a match for the bounty worth 1 billion berries? Yes, the other party is worth 1 billion bounties. We don't even have 1 billion bounties even if we sell them. Alas, this doesn't work, and that doesn't work. What should we do? And let alone Char, even the pirates under his command are not simple people." The ministers were helpless and immediately kicked the ball back to the king of the Long Dragon Kingdom. The king of the Long Dragon Kingdom saw that the ministers didn't know what to do, and he didn't know what to do either. Then how should this matter be resolved? Wait, there is another person who may be able to come up with the key to solving this matter. At this time, the king of the Long Dragon Kingdom and the ministers thought of the same person at the same time, the prime minister. So they cast their expectant eyes on the prime minister, whose face was livid and who knew what he was thinking. 228 Panic Dragon, however, after their prime minister noticed the expectant gazes of the crowd, he had to announce an explosive news. "The Feian Kingdom is preparing to attack us." As soon as these words came out, the air in the whole place seemed to freeze, and everyone was confused. "What did you say? The Feian Kingdom is going to attack us? Why did they attack us under such circumstances? This Feian Kingdom is really a B*********************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************** There is such a thing? It's really a pitfall, 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 pitfall. What should we do? If the Feian Kingdom gets involved, then won't we have no chance of survival? It's already a headache to have a Daxia pirate group, and now there is another Feian Kingdom. What the hell? Is God going to destroy our Changlong Kingdom? This, it's really a big deal. After the Prime Minister said this sentence, which was no less powerful than the recruitment of soldiers by the Great Sha pirates, these ministers were really frightened, and even the king of their Changlong Kingdom was surprised. Feian Kingdom and 47's Changlong Kingdom do not have a good relationship, and it is a targeted relationship. The other party will deliberately release criminals outside their borders from time to time in order to let these criminals escape to them to cause damage. In recent years, Changlong Kingdom has been really annoyed by the constant conspiracy of Feian Kingdom. Now, a Great Sha pirate staying at their door has already made their heads explode, and now there is another old enemy, Feian Kingdom? Is God really going to destroy their Changlong Kingdom? Otherwise, why do so many pitfalls? All of a sudden, all the ministers and king of Changlong Kingdom have been basically fainted. The Prime Minister said helplessly, "Now we have no choice but to recruit soldiers and strengthen more defense forces." As soon as this sentence came out, it was agreed by many ministers. After all, they still understand the principle of the destruction of the country and the death of the people. Besides, they have lived in Changlong country for many years and have a close relationship with Changlong country. The whole family lives here. How can they leave here all of a sudden? It is a lie to say that they have no feelings. Advertisement. The Prime Minister is right. We will also recruit soldiers and buy horses. CFFC. As expected of the Prime Minister, he is really a strategist. The Prime Minister is so right. I think so too. The Prime Minister is really a pillar of our Changlong country. With the Prime Minister, what does our Changlong country have to fear? Ha ha ha, this plan is good, it's really great. As expected of the Prime Minister, he can come up with such a talented suggestion. This method is really good. The ministers are really flatterers. They keep flattering. Even the king flatters in the end. With the Prime Minister, I don't have to worry about anything anymore. However, the Prime Minister's next sentence is fatal. But the country has no money. As soon as these words were spoken, the smiles of all the ministers in the audience froze, and the king of the Long Dragon Kingdom's facial muscles twitched, with a helpless look on his face. This is true. The country of Longlong has been living a poor life with tight belts for so many years. How can there be a life with extra money? Even their families have little money. They have to farm to support their families. Some ministers can hardly make ends meet. Finally, under the coercion of the Prime Minister, the ministers and kings had to bite their teeth and take out their private money as military expenses. At the same time in Feian country, the king of Feian country was like an angry lion, urging the soldiers to act quickly. The lazy soldiers then cheered up and began to prepare to board the ship. Because of the long-term protection of marine, Feian kingdom did not attach much importance to the military, so the rapid economic development led to the military decline. While the military expenditure of the troops was constantly cut, these soldiers were not valued by their superiors. They were lazy and did not even have basic exercises every day. Therefore, when these soldiers were really dispatched, they were useless. It was difficult to even maintain their own security, let alone go to attack other countries. Whether they could survive was not a problem. This also led to a problem, that is, the status of the soldiers was very low. The ministers of Feian Kingdom angrily scolded these soldiers for being so weak. "What's the matter with you? We usually spend so much money to buy equipment for you, and you treat us like this. Advertisement, you really disappoint us. The money we invested in you for so many years has been thrown into the water. I really don't know what to say to me. You damn guys, I really don't know what to say to you. Do you really want to count on you bunch of rubbish to attack the poor country of Changlong? I'm afraid you'll be killed before you even reach other people's places." The ministers seemed to be accusing their soldiers like servants at home. These soldiers didn't even dare to raise their heads when they were accused, because some ministers might have spoken too radically, causing some soldiers to have deep resentment, but they just didn't dare to get angry on the spot. These soldiers, who smiled and listened to the minister's instructions humbly on the surface, actually cursed these ministers as beasts in their hearts. The ministers finally put their resentment on the commander-in-chief of this operation, General Jeffrey Bobby. General Jeffrey Bobby of Feian country almost cursed his father. These people spoke more wildly than each other. They really didn't treat us as human beings? If Jeffrey Bobby hadn't held back his resentment in the end, I'm afraid he would have drawn his sword on the spot to kill those ministers who spoke wildly. Don't you think of me as a human being? Jeffrey Bobby was getting angrier and angrier. If his family hadn't lived well in Feian country, if he hadn't been working for this shitty country, he would have quit long ago. To be honest, who would want to endure this kind of shit? Just like that, the expeditionary force of Feian country set sail amidst a chorus of curses. The soldiers who had left Feian country not long ago finally burst out with the resentment hidden in their hearts. What the hell is this? The ministers are sick, how can they talk like this? They are really mentally ill. That king is also a jerk, I really don't know what they are. These people are really, I don't know what to say to them. 229 Flying Cloud Army. Seeing the soldiers so excited, General Jeffrey Bobby of Feian country secretly said that it was not good and hurried to comfort them. Although Jeffrey Bobby had a hot temper, it did not mean that he was an idiot in military affairs. He knew very well that if the soldiers went to war with such negative emotions, it would not only affect their morale, but also make them unwilling to fight. At that time, Jeffrey Bobby would be in trouble. Fortunately, this General Jeffrey Bobby had some prestige among the people. After he came out to comfort them, the soldiers slowly calmed down. Although the matter came to an end, Jeffrey Bobby still felt that this expedition would be unfavorable. Jeffrey Bobby frowned, cast his sharp eyes ahead, and a thoughtful look appeared on his face. I don't know what he was thinking. However, not long after the Feian army set out, Feian country learned a piece of news that was enough to shock the people of the whole country. What did you say? The legendary Great Sha pirates are in the kingdom of Longlong. The king of Feian kingdom couldn't believe his eyes. The legendary Great Sha pirates were actually recruiting soldiers at the gate of the enemy country. This kind of thing was really unimaginable, and it was at such a critical moment. No way, is it really the Great Sha pirates? The Great Sha pirates of Poison Dragon Char? I really didn't expect that the famous Poison Dragon would appear in such a place. I really didn't expect it. Yes, and it's a place like Longlong Kingdom. I don't know what Poison Dragon likes about Longlong Kingdom. Maybe others just like that there are too many pirates near Longlong Kingdom. Ha 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 ha, poor Longlong Kingdom. Now Longlong Kingdom has to face Poison Dragon and guard against our Feian army. I want to see how they die this time. I seem to see the sad face of the king of Longlong Kingdom. The ministers laughed and made fun of the predicament of the Changlong Kingdom. Even their king couldn't help laughing. They didn't know how the Changlong Kingdom had offended God and attracted a legendary pirate like Char. A minister seemed to have thought of something important and said, General Jeffrey Bobby doesn't know about this. If he... His voice stopped abruptly at this point, because he didn't dare to say anything more. After hearing this, the faces of the ministers became gloomy. They all understood what the minister was going to say. If General Jeffrey Bobby didn't know where the Daxia pirates were, and if there was some friction with the Daxia pirates, then their Feian army would be easily killed by Char with a wave of his hand. At this time, in the bay where the Daxia pirates were located, the pirates who didn't understand why they were refused to join them complained. It's so disappointing. Is there some misunderstanding? Advertisement. At this moment, the noise became even louder. He's so badass. I thought he was some big force. I thought Dulong was some famous big shot, but he turned out to be a coward. This Char is such a coward. Char, get out of here. Garima was stunned and asked in a daze. Why? A hint of coldness flashed across Char's eyes, and he said in a low voice, These people are bad apples, and we must not let them in to affect the atmosphere. Besides, these bastards just made trouble with us. If we let them into our great Shah pirates, wouldn't it be said that Char, am giving in? After Char pondered for a while, he said in a calm tone, wait a minute. As time goes by, more and more pirates think they are brave and feel that Char is a coward for not coming out for so long. Suddenly, they become more self-righteous and arrogant, and look down on everyone. Garima seemed to see Char's hesitation, and said in a flat tone, just let them in, after all, they can also be used as cannon fodder. There was a hint of contempt in his tone. After all, the other party actually did such a thing, which was really unpleasant. At this time, at the door of the call for help, the captain named Lorien Tuttle was still making trouble fearlessly. At this time, Char was sleeping, but he was woken up by the noise. Just when he was about to go out to see what happened, Garima came in and told him the matter. Galema uttered an, not understanding why Char said that. Our captain has been shouting for so long, but Char didn't respond at all. I'm so disappointed. I thought Char was some extraordinary person. Now I see Con Lai as a B*****************. Char immediately refused. What the hell is the Great Shah Pirates? Advertisement behind Lorien Tuttle, his crew members, like him, were cursing the Great Shah Pirates. People who didn't know thought that there was some deep hatred between Lorien Tuttle and the building pirates. Char stood up, a hint of murderous intent flashed across his eyes, and his whole body was filled with terrifying murderous intent that seemed to be able to freeze everything. He said in a low voice, I want to see if those bastards dare to provoke me, Char. As soon as he finished speaking, his Conqueror's Haki exploded, and a powerful invisible shockwave hit Garima unintentionally. Garima felt that he was pressed down by an invisible mountain at this moment. If this matter is not handled well, it will lead to many negative effects, such as the pirates who came to surrender will change their minds or become cold-hearted. This is Char's Conqueror's Haki, it is really extraordinary, Garima said secretly. Then, leader, how do you think we should deal with this matter? Asked Galema. Indeed, Char's analysis was indeed to the point and made a lot of sense. Galamar heard this and nodded in admiration. No. Why don't you let us in? A captain of a pirate group named Lorien Tuttle made trouble in public and shouted loudly. This is not fair. I came from so far away just to join your Daxia pirate group, but now you refuse us to join you, isn't this too chilling? Seeing that Garima's face was not right, Char was stunned for a moment. He realized that he accidentally exploded Conqueror's Haki, smiled awkwardly and took back Haki immediately. This is not fair, not fair. After listening, Char rubbed his forehead for a long time with a painful look on his face. I'm quite capable, why don't you consider me? As soon as these words came out, they immediately aroused strong resonance among the pirates who came to join them. 230 taunting Char. Moreover, the Daxia pirates have not sent anyone to respond to this matter. There are always only the aggressive crew members of the Daxia pirates guarding the door. If it weren't for this group of aggressive crew members, these already dissatisfied pirates would have rushed in to find an explanation. Lorien Tuttle's mouth slightly raised. In his opinion, the Daxia pirates were cowardly and guilty of these pirates. The self-righteous Lorien Tuttle thought of this and became more arrogant, and his words became more extreme. His men also followed his example. Char, come out. If you don't come out today, we brothers will go in and find trouble with you. Yes, 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 Char, come out, otherwise, don't blame us brothers for being ruthless. 393, brothers, get ready to take your weapons and get ready to rush in, Ha ha ha, this poisonous dragon is really cowardly. We scolded him for so long, but he didn't react at all. The notorious Char is just like this, I'm really disappointed. The pirates complained and cursed, and finally several people with the same problem came over. Char, why don't you dare to accept me, Benkeji? Do you look down on us? Even if we are not as strong as you can't look down on us like this. The captains expressed their opinions one after another. But even so, the Innan pirates still didn't send anyone to solve the matter. Advertisement. This made the pirates even more angry. They are proud by nature, and they have been dominating the countryside for a long time. They are self-righteous and are unwilling to take the heroes of the world seriously. Now because of the arrogant Lorien Tuttle. These pirates from the countryside who have no vision have become more arrogant. Some people even took up weapons and tried to break through the guards' defense line. At this time, Lorien Tuttle decided to do something big. He raised the torch prepared by his men and shouted loudly, Today, I will show you what this Char is really like. As soon as he finished speaking, Lorien Tuttle shouted angrily and threw the torch on a ship of the Great Shah pirates, which instantly caused a fire. For a moment, the eyes of the crew of the great pirates on the ship turned red. If Char hadn't ordered them not to fight, they would have thrown these scum into the sea to feed the Sea Kings. Would they still give them the opportunity to talk nonsense? These damn scum, who do they really think they are? Do they really think they are some great person? I really don't know what's wrong with these people. I really look down on these people. I really look down on them. These people are really rubbish. Haha, they even dared to scold our Daxia pirates. Don't they know how to write the word death? If it weren't for the leader's death order, I would have killed these bastards in front of me long ago. The crew members of the Daxia pirates were really angry. In their eyes, the pirates headed by Lorien Tuttle were even worse than pigs and dogs. How dare they mock their Daxia pirates? The pirates who had just joined the Daxia pirates saw this scene and hesitated. They wondered if they had joined the wrong people. Why didn't the Daxia pirates fight back? So many people left the Daxia pirates and joined the outsiders. The crew members of the Daxia pirates became even more angry after seeing the guys who were betraying their own people. If it weren't for Char's order, they would have shot and killed these traitors. A captain named Michael Fitzgerald stood up and said in a weird voice, "Is Char afraid to face us?" That makes sense. It must be like this. This Char is really amazing. A man named Arthur Ruskin, who was also a captain, also thought that Char was someone who was easy to bully, so he stood up and started to sneer. At this time, on a ship of the Great Shah pirates, Garima looked serious and asked, "Is it time to take action?" Char's mouth curled up slightly, and the coldness in his eyes became more and more intense. He said in a deep voice, "Why, can't you wait that long?" Garima's facial muscles twitched, and he smiled bitterly. "These people are getting more and more outrageous, making me want to kill them." Char looked at him in surprise and said, "I didn't expect you to be unable to bear it, I didn't expect it." Garima rolled his eyes and said, "It feels like you look down on me." Advertisement Char laughed and said, "No, there. But it's time to start." Char's face changed, revealing a ferocious look. He could no longer suppress the murderous intent in his heart. The pirates in front of him were too aggressive, which really made Char have to kill them. However, Char decided to set another fire to see who was really willing to be loyal to him. "What did you say?" The leader ordered that anyone who left him should not be intercepted. A crew member of the Deja pirates said with a puzzled look on his face. "Yeah, I didn't expect there would be such a strange order. What is going on? Does the leader not want these pirates who just surrendered? Otherwise, why would he say this? It's really strange. This is..." The crew members of the Daxia pirates could not understand why Char would give this order. They have always secretly intercepted those who tried to betray them and didn't want those who finally surrendered to leave here. The pirates who had no intention of staying in the Great Shah pirates finally breathed a sigh of relief after receiving this order, and hurriedly left the Great Shah pirates that disappointed them. They originally thought that the Great Shah pirates were a strong team, but they didn't expect that they were still so cowardly and didn't dare to come out in the face of such ridicule from others, which made them very disappointed. The pirates who were shouting outside became even more complacent after learning about it. "See, the people of the Great Shah pirates are really cowardly, ha 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 ha. Char is just like this. If he has 1 billion Baileys like this, then I have 10 billion Baileys. This Great Shah pirates is really a loser, it's really disappointing. I really didn't expect that Char would give such an unreasonable order. If it were me, I wouldn't give such a stupid order." 231 Tolerance. The crew of the Great Shah pirates could not stand such scolding. They, who had followed Char for many years, certainly did not want others to insult them. A captain clenched his fists tightly, with sparks in his eyes, and said angrily, "These damn bastards. They are really two bastards, they actually speak so arrogantly. Don't stop me anymore, I must go out and fight them this time. If we don't show our power again, won't they look down on us? These bastards are not my opponents. Fight with them, don't talk nonsense with him anymore. Yes, fight with them, let them know the serious consequences. Kill him, kill him." The crew of the Great Shah pirates could not bear their swollen anger, and were about to take action. The yellow flash flashed in vain, and the next moment a powerful figure fell in front of the pirates who were making trouble. "You were looking for death." 25 Char finally made a move, and it was so terrible when he made a move. When these pirates who were too proud of themselves saw Char himself coming, their voices stopped abruptly, and everyone knew that Char was angry. But they relied on the fact that they came to Char for help, so they believed that Char had something to ask of them and would not harm them. "What a terrible strength, it's really terrible." Advertisement. "You must give each of us an explanation today, otherwise we will stay here today. You decide, Char." Just when Lauren Tuttle thought that things were just as he imagined, and Char would apologize to all of them, things did not develop as they imagined. As soon as these words came out, the pirates who were making trouble in front of them suddenly became panicked. "You must tell us why you are shutting us out. We have come so far just to join you, but what you are doing now is really disappointing." The pirates shouted in triumph, not taking Char, the notorious pirate, seriously at all. In their opinion, Char had definitely given in, so they were so presumptuous this time. The temporary leader of the group of troublemakers, Lauren Tuttle, stood up, his face full of anger, but his eyes were full of greed. He was indeed a little angry at the beginning. After all, Char treated him like this, but later when he commanded these pirates, it felt so good to let these pirates obey him, so good that he forgot his original intention. In his opinion, even if Char had strong strength, so what, wasn't he afraid of them? "This is unscientific. You must come up with an explanation today, otherwise I think no one will be unreasonable." After some discussion, several knowledgeable scholars did not tell the public about this matter. They were really worried that the public would panic after learning this terrible news. At the same time, they secretly made up their minds to leave the Long Dragon country. In their opinion, a pirate like Char who had the qualifications of a hegemon and a cruel heart would definitely cause trouble in the Long Dragon country. So these scholars quickly packed their bags and prepared to leave the Long Dragon country. Of course, this is all later. Yes, 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 come up with an explanation quickly, otherwise, we will not be polite. Why did so many people suddenly fall down, and what on earth is that terrible breath just now? Char narrowed his eyes and sneered at the corners of his mouth. Because the incident at the mouth of the bay was so terrible, many people came to see if there were really pirates looking for trouble with the legendary and terrible Great Sha pirates. As a result, they were injured by Char's terrible Conqueror's Haki not long after they arrived. However, among the people, there are scholars who are well informed in the strike position. They immediately saw the origin of the powerful Conqueror's Haki just now. Captains Michael Fitzgerald and Arthur Ruskin could not help but be moved. They could not help but look at each other and see the shock on each other's faces. They clearly felt the terrible Conqueror's Haki that made their backs cold. So Lauren Tuttle desperately thought of a way to solve the current predicament, a perfect way to make Char withdraw. As the mastermind behind this incident, Lauren Tuttle could not let the situation lean towards Char, because he knew that if Char knew that he was the one who secretly promoted and instigated everyone to initiate this incident, then his end would probably be death. Is it all Char's fault? Especially after Arthur Ruskin and Michael Fitzgerald felt the murderous aura that emanated from the other party, they felt like they were being stared at by a ferocious beast. They began to feel a strong sense of uneasiness and deeply regretted this action. Advertisement. That's right, Captain Char, why did we come to you for help, but you ignored us? Why is that? It seems that they all underestimated this Char. This Char was not the honest elder they imagined, let alone someone who was easy to bully. This was the living king of hell. Char's body burst out with amazing Conqueror's Haki, which was so powerful that most of the pirates were stunned at once. The only ones who were still holding on were Captain Lauren Tuttle and a group of good pirates. If you really want to die, I can fulfill your wish. This is too scary. Why did the pirates suddenly fall down? Is this the power of the legendary poisonous dragon? The remaining people did not react at all to what happened, and everyone's face was full of confusion. Most people could not block this nearly invincible Conqueror's Haki like many captains, and countless people fell down in an instant. This Char really has the potential to be a king. I just felt a terrible shockwave. If I'm not mistaken, this is the legendary Conqueror's Haki. What on earth is going on? To be honest, the terrible Conqueror's Haki really made them feel cold all over. It was just in a moment that so many of their men were killed. The two of them also held on hard to not fall down like many of their men. Brother, why did you fall down? Wake up quickly, are you sick? 232 kill. Lauren Tuttle rolled his eyes, frantically using his pitiful knowledge, racking his brains to think about how to kill Char. Arthur Ruskin and Michael Fitzgerald also begged for mercy at the top of their lungs. No matter what he did, it was useless. Lauren Tuttle came to this helpless conclusion. The system bell continued to beep as if it would never stop. We were also temporarily bewildered and deceived by Lauren Tuttle. However, the next moment, Sha Ya did not forgive them, but attacked them. The dazzling golden light was imprinted in everyone's pupils, and the extremely powerful light speed kick was swung instantly, killing the two captains who were begging for mercy in front of them without hesitation. At this time, the pirates who were making trouble wanted to slap themselves. Why were they so stupid to follow Lauren Tuttle to make trouble? We are willing to join the Great Sha pirates with sincerity, not falsehood. In their opinion, Lauren Tuttle is already a dying man. Ding 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 ding. System prompt. Kill Arthur Ruskin, a pirate captain from the Long Dragon country, and get 2,000 points. CFEH. In just a moment, Char killed so many pirates. How terrifying and invincible. If it weren't for Lauren Tuttle's reaction and using the observation Haki he had just learned to avoid this attack, he would probably have become a cold corpse like those captains. Yes, we didn't want to do this originally. It was Lauren Tuttle who lied to us that as long as we made trouble like this, Captain Char would let us join the Great Sha pirates. Ding 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 ding. System prompt. Kill Michael Fitzgerald, a pirate captain from the Long Dragon country, and get 2,000 points. Advertisement. These captains threw the pit to Lauren Tuttle without hesitation, without any remorse at all, as if they had forgotten how close their relationship with Lauren Tuttle was before. The mastermind Lauren Tuttle on the side became even more gloomy. He didn't expect these captains to be so despicable and put the blame on him. This Char is really terrible. He killed so many pirates in just a moment. I beg Lord Char to make a wise decision and let us go. Thinking of this, Char's eyes became colder, and the murderous intent on his body became stronger. Feeling the terrible murderous aura that Char accidentally spilled, Lauren Tuttle couldn't help but take a breath of cold air, and his steps kept retreating, looking at Char as if he was looking at a killing god. Continuously swinging light speed kicks, one after another, killing a large group of pirates and the group of captains. Why was I so stupid to listen to the words of Lauren Tuttle, the big liar? Ding 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 ding. System prompt. Kill 40 pirates from the Long Dragon country and get 20,000 points. Ding 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 ding. System prompt. Kill 5 unknown pirate captains from the Long Dragon country and get 5,000 points. Captain Char, this matter can't be blamed on us. This matter is Lauren Tuttle who sold us out. At the same time, after the familiar system bell sounded in Sha Ya's mind, Sha Ya did not stop, but continued to upgrade these pirates. That's right, in fact, most people here admire you and don't want to be your enemy. As for the previous things, it was all Lauren Tuttle's fault, it was all Yin Bing's fault. At the same time, those pirates who were not as calm as Lauren Tuttle, when they really came into contact with the legendary Char, suddenly remembered why they came all the way here. Advertisement. Many pirates immediately threw the pod to Lauren Tuttle without any self-reflection. You can't blame us, you really can't blame us, that's right. Ding 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 ding. System prompt. Kill a pirate from the Long Dragon country and get 500 points. Many pirate captains made the same choice as their men, that is, they decided to sell Lauren Tuttle. You know, these pirates are some powerful pirate captains in the waters near the Long Dragon country. Even Lauren Tuttle didn't dare to say that he could win against these captains, but so many powerful pirate captains and crews were killed just like that. How could this Char be so powerful? This damn Lauren Tuttle, how dare you lie to us and say that if we make trouble, Char will let us join the Shaw pirates. Char was a little surprised that Lauren Tuttle was still alive. He didn't expect that someone could survive his attack. Listening to what these pirates said just now, it was this Lauren Tuttle who instigated them to make trouble. In other words, the man who was lucky enough to escape his attack was the mastermind behind this. If it weren't for Lauren Tuttle, we wouldn't have made trouble at all. This damn Lauren Tuttle, how dare you deceive us, this damn guy. It's all Lauren Tuttle's fault, it has nothing to do with this. Lauren Tuttle's face became gloomy. After thinking for a long time, he still couldn't think of any solution. Facing Char's incomprehensible existence, all strategies were empty. No matter how smart he was, he couldn't come up with a good strategy that could kill a peerless master.